Hopefully you hear the music, but I'm worried that you don't. Either way, I'm starting. I hear the music. Maybe you hear it. I don't know. Vigilante Williamson here on the 55th episode of my show. It is Memorial Day, May 31st, Monday, May 31st, approximately 3 p.m. Not sure again if the music is audible, or if so, how it's audible, because it could be picking up back in my mic. So I just switched the audio card so I can go through the audio card. But how's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a good evening. Good, well, not evening. It's not evening. It's not an evening episode. It's an afternoon episode. I hope everyone's having a happy Memorial Day, or Monday if you're not in the United States of America. Again, do not know if the music was audible, but it's now done. Maybe the outro will be audible. We have a pretty good show. Have a lot of stuff to talk about. It's funny. At first, I didn't have anything to talk about, and then just more and more stuff. Sorry about the late start. I was watching Young Ripper, and I was just kind of just watching it. I'm like, guess I should start. Appreciate everybody showing up. Brightest days here. Hell, New Bomb Turk and Fimred Ice Wolf is also here. Let's check and see if anyone's in the D Live chat, because there's always someone who shows up in the D Live chat when I'm not paying attention. No, we're almost at 20 followers. We've been on D Live as long as YouTube, pretty much. It's obviously not been as fruitful, it's also not as big of a platform, and we're always trying to expand. I got to get on Odyssey as well pretty soon. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who watches the playback. A lot of people watch the playbacks of these live streams. I was just if you missed yesterday, I did a couple live streams of Tetris. So that was pretty fun. Hell, Captain Track, someone who I haven't been on his live stream for almost a while, for almost a year, really, because it's really when maybe 7 months, 6 or 7 months. He's one of the first actual fandom minutes related streams that had me on, because he just lets everyone on with the thing. So I appreciate Captain Track. Never forget where you start. And Jens Peter heard the music. Doing good. Music sounds okay. Cool. Vigilante. Let's watch Vigilante Williamson with another episode, says Fimmer. Sup nerds. Buzz Senshin Dildo, who was up with me. Well, I guess it was early for him, but yeah, playing a lot of Tetris. And even the minute he got into it. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. The Vigilante Mobile is down. Hopefully we can get that sorted out today. I'm actually doing this early to hopefully get that sorted out today, or somewhat sorted out. At least back here, back in the Vigilante Cave, and not in an impound or something, because it's just kind of abandoned for now. We'll get it. Otherwise, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Captain Track? How's everyone doing in the chat? Let me know in the chat. On today's show, we got to talk about what a lot of people would consider a broke clock being right twice a day. What else do we got? I'm also going to get into Silicon Valley buying all these useless companies, in my opinion, just for the IP that they're going to ruin, and how financially unfruitful it'll most likely turn out to be. Even though, I mean, there's the potential for a hit or two. And we're also going to talk a lot about Tenahisi Coates, believe it or not. I know he's not the most popular man in this circle of YouTube, but I actually want this man to succeed, because he's the guy who has Superman, and I would like Superman to be cool. And we're also going to talk about A Quiet Place being successful, how there's already kind of throwing shade at fan-like properties like Godzilla vs. Kong. But first, I'm going to do a few quick hits, so to speak. Let's see who else is hopping in. Gomer Kyle, hell. And so Central Dildo got some sleep. That was cool. Cool. That's good that you were able to get some sleep. Shout out to what was going to do, Durban Poison. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some quick hits. And like I just said, I was watching Young Ripper, so this one is kind of a late addition. But just giving quick thoughts on this heavy metal thing. I vaguely remember heavy metal as a kid. Wasn't really into it. I just want to talk about how epically mishandled this was. So here are the responses. I'm just gonna read the tweet responses from Bounding in the comics. They kind of curate some tweets. Shout out to Bounding. They're also going to be a part of the show, but not, this is not Bounding only. Got some Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, and other things. Talk about some other stories. But in any event, Diego Chavez on Twitter said finally they cover she up, meaning finally they cover her up, assuming English second language. Either way, most people turns out have more than one outfit. Heavy Metal magazine. It's a magazine, a periodical. Robot Vigilante Williamson. Okay, thank you. CIA had to mess with me. But in any event, Heavy Metal magazine. Magazines aren't the most popular thing going. I'm sure there's still collectors, or there were, and they're tweeting negative things about their fans. It gets way worse. R.I.P. Tarna, and then Heavy Metal responds, does changing clothes kill people? We had no idea. Do you not change your underwear? This explains so much. Okay, so now you're attacking your fans. And then here's a much more balanced response from a fan. Silver Fox Copper Crow says, I'm torn. I generally despise bikini armor as a whole, I also have a pretty severe disdain for the complete changing of iconic characters and looks. At what point does it become an entirely different character? And where exactly is the ridiculous line for scantily clad heroines? And then the response from Heavy Metal magazine: have you read the book to understand the context of the outfit? Or are you just making assumptions? Trust us, read this as you understand. Also, people should change clothes and looks. That's natural. So there was a response that Heavy Metal could have responded with, right? I mean, obviously, a lot of people are really tired of every sexual woman being changed. And let me just go back to some of the imagery. So this is how she kind of normally looks. It's kind of an iconic version of Tarna. And then they changed her look for this armor. Okay. There was a way of still doing this and reacting to fan reaction that was much more healthy, much more vanilla, and much more corporate. All you had to say is something along the lines like, look, we're always trying to innovate at Heavy Metal magazine and do different things. We apologize if you're upset. However, if you read the story, you'll come to see that this is this change has a story reason for being done, and we will see plenty of Tarna in her usual garb in future issues. Something along those lines would have been simple, would have been clean, would have kept fans. This would not be a controversy. It would not have been a big deal. This would not be a story. But that's not what happened. They had to be antagonistic and trolls to their fans. They just had to be. And they actually claim, and if I can get into the art, I'm not going to go through the whole article. You should read it on Bounding anyway. You do a lot better reading it yourself. But they said it wasn't even a political reason. That's what they claim. I'm not well versed enough into it to know. And it looks like she did get beaten down at different points. So they're not doing the bestest ever thing. She's getting her ass kicked. So it may have turned out that there was a story reason for her having the armor. However, just vanillize it. Why couldn't they do that? See what you guys are saying real quick, and then we'll go into the next story. I don't understand why they couldn't do a basic, simple, easy corporate answer why they had to attack fans. Jens, watch my Tetris stream, and a bit of advice: get good at the game before you try to be good and fast. Yeah. Sometimes you got to run before you walk. And Central Dildo says, yeah, it was Durban poison. Went to a friend and gave me some wedding cake. Okay. Shout out to Central Dildo. I just have good. I don't even know what it is. Heavy Metal film was only good because of the soundtrack. All right, Go Macau. What did Go Macau say? Hey, I don't know. Not sure. It looks like I missed it. Sorry. It's not entirely true. The first movie had an interesting plot that linked all the short stories together. The second movie is more meh, but it wasn't horrible. I've never seen either Heavy Metal movie. She has some sexy clothes on actually in the comic. So she does have her clothes on in the comic. So they could have said that. What was so wrong with saying that? Say, hey, you know what? Wait, there's a story reason for this. Please check it out. Had to be snarky. They just couldn't help themselves. I didn't even know that. So that makes this even stupider. She actually does have her clothes on. Just say, hey, we're just doing something a little different. We always want to be innovative. Which I think it was one of their responses or something along those lines. We can find it. Let's see. I think oof. But just all you have to do is, oh man, we remind you too can change your clothes, so please do so. We got complaints for your neighbors. And so here's the official statement. Relax, guys. It's just armor. No change is scary, but you got this. This is heavy metal. We've always experimented. Push the envelope because that's art. It changes, it grows, and evolves. We have always pushed the boundaries of art, storytelling, a culture. So if they would have said this entire paragraph, say for this, we know change is scary, but you got this, and maybe add something, read the story because you'll understand why we did it, and something like that. You know what I mean? And again, stop attacking fans. They would have been cool. Now, one thing I will say, Angels advocate, I definitely think there's a snarky ass attitude in general. I'm sure if you go through their Twitter, you'll see snarky ass responses. Because some brands like to be assholes on Twitter. That's their gimmick. And I can tell this because just everything is snark. They had no intention to put her back in the guard for later issues. They're dying. Also, they're dying on the hill. Oh, well, then that's even worse. Heavy Metal Mag has been around a long time, well before the movies, I see. Yeah, since the 60s, at least the original French one. So you guys know more about heavy metal than me. Knew about Turk. Yeah, I knew about it as a child in the 80s and 90s. They were the first publication to take unknown artists and give them a platform to show their work. Was their 70s? 77. Let's go, Macau. I see. 1977. So, in any event, I'm not a big heavy metal guy. I just think there was a simple, much more. Here's another cover you can see her a little more scantily clad. But there's a simple, much more asshole, non-asshole response they could have done, and they didn't. And they are losing out as a result of it. Speaking of assholes losing out, real quick, I just wanted to touch this. I don't want to touch that. No. Ellen DeGeneres is ending her talk show. I need something new to challenge me. I guess being a complete dick to people, both on camera and off camera, is no longer a challenge, or she's been pushed along because she's old and she has a lot of controversy. In any event, Ellen DeGeneres' show is wrapping up in 2022. We are not going to read this article. I just want to just mention this shit in passing. The end of Ellen, the end of an era, so to speak. And honestly, this is not just an end for Ellen DeGeneres. It's probably the end of the talk show. I mean, I think Wendy Williams is still around. But how long do you think the talk show will still exist? I give it under 5 years because TV is dying. The ability for a TV talk show to exist, maybe in YouTube it'll still exist. This, you may consider this to be some sort of a talk show in its own right, or news show. I don't know what the hell this is, but Ellen DeGeneres is gone. Thank goodness. Ding dong, the witch is dead. But I don't think it's just her. I think the talk show's days are numbered. The pandemic really gave to light how bad, how terrible these guys are, how much they lack humanity, and not just from she's a piece of shit, but I'm just mean like humanity as in your ability to relate to them. There are literally thousands of people. I'm not sure if Ripper's still going, but 1,000 people watching Young Ripper, and there are thousands of people who watch his videos. And the same for Gary, the same for Doomcock and Critical Drinkers videos outrate NBA games and baseball games, and Gary's videos outrate baseball games as far as viewership. So like, there's such a shift in that none of this is talking about the Twitch girls and even the non-girls on Twitch. in all different communities. And hell, I was playing Tetris because of this whole Tetris community, some of which has millions of views that are, they have videos that have more views than the Oscars did, or more views than the NBA Finals did. So we see this cultural shift away from these traditional, properties, these traditional concepts, so to speak, these entertainment concepts. And I don't think the talk show as it currently existed in this studio format where you have this, disingenuous demonic host tell people how to think, I don't think that's going to work anymore. The mainstream is dying. That's one of the things that, if all of these stories could be gathered up with one kind of concept, everything we do, we find that the mainstream is dying. So not only is Ellen gone, I think the concept is gone. So it dates me 2 years before I was born. Let me see. 69 to 70, looked it up. Okay. If it did hit good music, if it did not have some good music, it would have been left to rot like most girly crap. Critical Drinkers, awesome. Hell Drinker. Hell just ignore me. Glad to hear me talk about this. Okay. Yeah, I almost didn't talk about this because I'm like, who cares about Ellen? But I thought about it. I'm like, there's more to it than just Ellen leaving. I mean, she's leaving because of whatever. Alfred, what the hell is this? But a lot of this, ratings have fallen. I keep talking about this. Even fucking the NFL is falling. New Bomb Turks has a counterpoint though. He says, as long as there's box wine moms that stay at home, there'll always be daytime TV, soaps, talk shows will exist till that generation passes on. But the Colts thing. Oh yeah, we'll get into Colts. There's like I said, blind squirrels or broke clock is right twice a day. But you know that generation is getting in. You know that generation has iPads. That generation now, my mom has Hulu. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, so she'll still watch a lot of this stuff. I'm like, I think she watches Wendy Williams. And, I don't know if she still does. I have no idea if she still does. But like, yeah, you'll still have people into it, but less and less. These things are losing their mainstream pull. And we will get into Colts. Julie Train was sexy in the movie. Here and watching is nowhere near girly crap. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll get into him. I guess YouTube proper mainstream with his algorithm ain't working as well as they expected. No, it's not. The View, that crap ain't going nowhere, man. 5 or 10 years. 5 or 10 years. And it's not, I'm not gonna compete with The View, but there's a girl YouTube, there's a makeup YouTuber who I have no idea exists, who probably has millions of subs, who's going to take a lot of that audience away. And there's ones that haven't even started. There are YouTubers and Twitch people and internet personalities who haven't even started yet, who will take that audience away. That's my point. There are internet. We talk about how yesterday we were on the Tetris stream. I was talking about how local sports YouTubers and local sports personalities on the internet that are outside the mainstream are much more appealing. That's going to be true for a lot of the people who watch The View. That's going to be true for a lot of the people who used to watch Ellen. It's not just true for the properties that we like. That's true for everything. So yeah, maybe The View specifically, but that audience is going to keep going. Let's see, her ratings are falling because most of the people got the jab step, as I'm calling it. And hell, Islington girl, I didn't say hi. I didn't say hi to Islington girl. You're the entire female audience for this channel, for the most part. You and the House of Holloway, as they'll call them, Morgan and her husband. Well, obviously, her husband's not female, but Morgan is. So it's like 1.5 per account, I guess. But still, I appreciate you being here, and everyone else does too. So let's keep it moving. Mark Millar said something I've been saying forever. 95% of the comic book audience is not on Twitter. Says statistic must be mind-blowing for the core company marketing departments. I've been saying fucking forever that Twitter is not mainstream. And as I'm saying, the mainstream is dying. I could understand if all these companies were using Facebook or Instagram for their marketing. If they were saying, you know what, we're using the data we get from Facebook Insta scam because there's so much data. There's so many people on these platforms and YouTube, honestly, and YouTube. And you say, this is what I'm going to use to get my data to have a balanced view of what people want. I would understand it. I would understand it. But I have never for the life of me understood why people think Twitter is relevant. There's so many statistics about how few people generate the majority of the Twitter content. And it's such a concentrated few of maybe a few million people generating the majority of the Twitter content and moving that platform. It is insane for so much marketing to be placed in the hand of a few million idiots. So, okay, we don't need Dusselacks. The hell? Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, just know me. Yeah, I appreciate that. Chat, smash that like button. Share out the stream. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. And when you guys share, it actually helps. So please share the stream out on whatever social media platform. I will say this, as much as I just talk shit about Twitter, unfortunately, it's one of the ones that we use. I do have a TikTok. So actually, if you're into that, I only have 2 videos. I don't really use TikTok. I'm not looking at 14-year-olds twerking because I have no interest in it. I actually plan on using TikTok similar to this, where I just post videos and that's it. We're actually more posting videos. I need to do more clips for it. But if you have that, I do have that as well. But yeah, please share the stream on whatever platforms that you use. Mine's, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or your own shitter, feel free. I appreciate it. But I'm glad that people are at least saying out loud, hey, people don't really use Twitter. 95% of the comic audience, it's not just comic audience, it's every audience. So, okay, he was informed by a marketing expert. So there was a marketing expert that told him this. I thought there was a statistic cited. Only 10% of comic buyers have a Twitter account, and only half of those accounts are active. Holy smokes. That literally means 95% of the audience is not using Twitter. And Jesus Christ. And so let me just read this quote. He says, thus 95% of the comic audience is not on Twitter, which must be mind-blowing for the marketing departments. He continued, seemingly commenting on a recent term many publishers, including Marvel, DC, and as we just mentioned, heavy metal, towards ignoring and in some cases outright insulting their established fan bases in favor of appealing to imagined audiences on social media. So yeah, I am not shocked. I hope more people start to realize. I remember seeing, I believe Marvel legitimately does use Twitter as their marketing thing. Twitter was hot for a small, short period, like in 2011. And then it was good if you hated the Orange Man, I guess. But outside of that, all the people who were not really active participants in the quote unquote culture war, just the normies, did not use Twitter. Again, fake book, Insta scam, I get it. But Twitter, I don't. Oh, crap. Gomer Kyle. Sheesh. I appreciate it, bro. Tip $25. You guys are the ones that keep me monetized. So I appreciate the support. Holy smokes. Give me a second. Let me read it. Oof. Sorry, just hit dryness. Just a Memorial Day tip. Hail and thanks for the great content. Thank you, Gomer Kyle. Man, you guys support. You just don't know how important it is. You just don't know, especially in this little job transitional period and a bit vigilante mobile is down. This really means a lot. Thank you, Gomer Kyle. Happy Memorial Day to you, man. Shout out to Tennessee. I hope you enjoy your Memorial Day. So let's see where we at. Oh, since I stopped for this, I'll kind of read some chat. You know what? Let me also check D Live. I always miss somebody in D Live. And of course, when I look, no one's there. That's how it goes. Alrighty. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. In a regular chat. I'm not just a super chat reader. I read everyone. Or as many as I can. Because a lot of times the chat's so active I can't. So 90 Justin Norris says, hey, 90% of his traffic comes from Twitter. Islington girl barely uses social media and don't use Twitter. Vince uses the platform to post his feminist views on TikTok. Yes, I've been discovered. And yeah, Again, thank you, Gomer Kyle, tipping $25. That's a lot, and I appreciate it. That's a lot. You know what I mean? That is not a small amount. Thank you. I only use YouTube and I use fake book once every blue moon. I don't have a fake book. I don't have any personal stuff. It's just everything's for this account and this YouTube. Like everything. I have a Twitter for this, and I only really use it to like communicate with people. And then I have the TikTok, which I'm just trying to post videos. My first video got 500 views on TikTok, so I'm going to try to post more content on that. My second video didn't. My first did. So Fenrir the Ice Wolf, put your banner on. I want to see it. Okay, yeah, Fenrir. Oh yeah, I should probably plug the task force. We have this brightest day. He thought I was down. I just was, if he can get it, if it works, we have a task force that's trying to get to 1,000 subs. All these channels that have grown up, the Fenrir, the Ice Wolf, Justin Normie, even New Bomb Turk. Then of course, the Nerdporial Life Forum, the Wake Down. We're trying to get all of us in brightest day is his idea, and the others I'm bringing out. Nick is in on it. We're trying to get all of us to 1,000. So if you're interested and you have a couple extra accounts, feel free to help the push to get all of our channels to 1,000. I'm not sure the formal thing we're doing, but yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Instagram says nowadays I use Discord, which is like 3 people, and Facebook hardly ever. Yeah. Try to give you 35 or 40 a month. Oh man, I didn't know. That's incredible, bro. That's incredible. Like, because that's like you're that's the true support, man. To earmark that much, you don't have to, man. Like I said, it's always appreciate. Never obligate. I can't help but to feel like, oh man, thank you. That means like a lot. Any super chat. A lot of you guys have super chat. Isn't the girl super chatted? I was Gomer is the one I'm talking. Newbound Turk super chatted. A lot of people have super chat. Toxic Man flew when he's here. He's tossed 50s at me. Of course, Ogre Squasher, the bitter factor in the channel, who's literally giving me over 1,000 with all of this crazy super chats, which is insane to think. And of course, I would have my PO box to let you guys know I was planning on having a Saturday. Did not go well. Check out the prior episode of the temporary ending of the Vigilante Mobile. It sucks. Thank you guys. It really does support the channel. It really does help. And I will get a new mask eventually. Apparently, this one scares people. It's not liked. Vigilante, I've thought about building a new social media platform like that of fake book for our community. That's a good idea. That would be cool. YouTube, I use YouTube a ton. I use YouTube a ton. Some people consider it social media. That may be true. I've gained friends, and this is definitely media, so maybe it is true. But because it's also a content delivery, it's as much Netflix as it is a social media site. So it's I don't really consider it from a consumer standpoint. When I'm watching YouTube, I don't consider myself getting the same thing I get out of social media. It has some of those elements with like commenting and stuff like that, and you guys in the chat, and then we kind of build a rapport. But again, like I watch live streams like I'm watching or like I'm listening to like a radio host, or I watch videos like I'm watching TV shows. You know what I mean? That's the place that occupies my head. So I don't consider it social media, but some people do. Since you did, I'm completely off social media. Fivers is not yet to banner. Yeah, I am a Discord boomer, and I'm scared because I've been doxxed off Discord back in the day. I stay within our community on Twitter. That way I don't get the BS. Twitter, just the stuff that's in the like trending will trigger. I'm like, I can't do it. I only use fake book to keep track of family or friends. I understand that. Hey, how they push ads on that. I just couldn't. I stopped like in 2014. And yeah, fuck TikTok, Chinese. Yeah, it is definitely Chinese controlled and owned, but what is it nowadays, right? So we created Fenrir a new banner. And talking about the 1,000 sub task force. Go to a couple video game servers on Discord because I'm a nerd. And going Kyle, cool. I've created banners and logos. Okay. Shout out to Justin Normie. Yeah, Fenrir's been super busy. Okay. We're all nerds here. I'm a country nerd. Cool. Does Saudi Arabia have a big stake in Twitter? You guys might know. And I don't feel, we already shamed Fimmer into content, and now he's kicking out content. I left Fimmer, and he's like, dude, how the tables have turned. Now Fimmer is the one being pushed by somebody. We have a group DM on Twitter for those on there. Yeah, come on, maybe we should do a Discord too. They owe me like $80. Who owes me $80? Oh, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Oh well. Okay. Giving them shit. Do. Let's see. I just got it up. Okay, so now the banner's up. So look what happened. Anyone feel free to hit me up in the Discord. I don't even have. I have one, but I don't have one. I don't really keep it active. When it comes to BS, just don't engage. But just to see, like, man, when you don't have a social media, like, it's just like my mom's reaction to the concept of cisgendered. It's just like, well, I just get me out of here. Get me out of here. So just to see it is too much for me. YouTube hours are very high per week. I don't watch anything else. Maybe a movie every once in a while. I pay for HBO Max and Amazon for others to watch. So in my family, I have access to all of them. I'm only paying for Amazon for the shipping, which I haven't even used this month, which I've been using too much. As you can see, all the shit that you basically, a lot of you guys bought me. And I use HBO Max. There's a lot of movies on HBO Max that I'll check out. They have Batman animated series. I need to get it on Blu-ray before they censor and make everyone a lesbian, but still, I do like HBO Max. Currently, Google Doc for those involved. Okay, cool. Shout out to Newbound Turk. Okay, I will check it out after the show. And hello, Snorter Poopus Q Burr. My dog that looks similar to your avatar was on the Tetris episode yesterday. And yeah, we got to get Fimmer and Mike, but there's a shipping considerations and a lot of issues. Oh, 80%. Okay, 80%. Discord is too discordant for Snorter Poopus. I will check it out after the show while I'm at work. Choose a channel, autoplay all the content I see. I'm pretty good on the watch hours. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Like I don't think, I would hate. I'd rather you guys do the task force. I'm cool where I'm cool with my growth. I'm cool. Stop harassing me on that. Can't get one. Yeah, he can't. It's a shipping thing. And he just tosses up a flag. Can't deal with it. I see. Have Discovery Plus. You're the one of the few, one of the few and the brave. No, I think Discovery Plus kind of like a lot of people are into the what the hell. So a lot of people are into like the stuff they have, like HGTV and stuff, whatever. So this is one of our last quick hits. That last one kind of got off on a tangent. No, actually, a couple of them. How Paramount resurrected movie going with A Quiet Place. Isn't that interesting when Godzilla vs. Kong was really the first big movie that kind of broke through a lot of records with the pandemic era? But they're tossing it in. Cruella dazzles for $27 million. I mean, that's, I guess, okay. But yeah, it's, you know what? I think The Quiet Place actually opened up more than it did the original a couple years ago. So this is a legitimate up. This also says, hey, I said this before, movie going experience, the demise has been greatly overstated. I don't think it'll be what it once was. I don't think you'll still get billion-dollar movies out of the box office, but people still do like the experience of going to see a theaters. Hell, Cruella, for whatever it's worth, and I had no plan on watching this. I mean, look at the shit. But it did get 27 million while still being on streaming services. I think you have to pay for it on Disney minus, but you could still, if you wanted to watch Cruella, you could watch it at home. People still, it got enough to get 25 million or 27 million on box office, from the box office. Is that international or is that domestic? Let me actually check. They're not. Oh no, it says the domestic box office came back and so yeah, 19.3 on Friday. So the 3 days at 47 million and 57 for a 4 day. Okay, so yeah, 57 million counting today, and so probably around 60 million for Memorial Day weekend. That's not the same Memorial Day weekends we got in the past few years. And a lot of people like the Quiet Place too. And Ascension Dildo being Ascension Dildo with the mics, and apparently people like the banner, so I will check it out. Look at the choices. Quiet Place 2, of course, is going to do well. It's a good movie. But again, people still want to go to the box office. People still want to go to the experiment. The experience of the box office on some level has been around. The experience of the theater has been around thousands and thousands of years in the human condition, from people watching the plays on stage to the movie theaters, the early 20s, Nickelodeons, not the channel, but it's always been a thing. And I don't think that experience. I think people still want to go to a place and have this collective experience, even if it's with strangers, and watch a film on a big screen or watch something done in a big way. So I think theaters are still around. I thought they were done, and we'll get into somehow the streaming services break it down, and how I think that might end up affecting this. But this is pretty good. I don't know if Cruella is a good movie. It doesn't look good for it got 27 million, but hey, it did make money. So I like the ghost hunting shows on a UFO show. That's why I have Plus. I see. And again, like I said, even though apparently Quiet Place 2 is a good movie, but it's cool to see that people still want to see this. I love the first one, and 2 is awesome. I heard. Okay, so a lot of people are into it. I am very surprised Cruella did those numbers. I'm very, very surprised. When I very first saw it, I'm like, oh, they're trying to do the Joker gimmick. It was obvious they were trying to do Joker's gimmick. Walking with Alternator. Okay. Talking about the banners. More microphone jokes. Everyone seems happy with it. Yeah. A lot of people are happy with it. Cruella is a feminist icon now. Yeah, they made the fucking Dalmatians villains. Can you fucking believe that? The Dalmatians pushed her. That's the stupidest fucking gimmick. Jeez. Quiet Place will have legs. Cruella won't. Yeah, I think Cruella's going to fall off. We will be talking about a fall off very soon, and that'll be the next story. The Dalmatians did nothing wrong. I agree. Anyone wants a banner, logo, Twitter banner? Hit just ignore me up. He does them. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, Cruella. I have no idea how either. Yeah, we're all shot. But you know what? It is fucking 101 Dalmatians in Disney. That brand has enough old motherfuckers that I'll take my kids to see it. And you know what? We just said what is out for as far as A Quiet Place. What is out for kids at the theater right now? You know what I mean? So they got that. I'm a horror nerd first and foremost. I see. Not big into horror. I have to wait. No theaters open. They have 58 million when most of Canada shut. Could have done it like 70. Yeah. Sure, it lost money, 27 million. You know what? I don't know how big that budget was. It doesn't look like they can it doesn't look like they had to spend that much money. It's that one stupid scene with the fire and she doesn't burn herself up or whatever. It doesn't look like it had to spend a ton of money. Damn, one would think I could spell Dalmatians being that they came from my country. No worries, man. I'm sorry, maybe Michigan will open soon. Yeah, because you're right at the border. But then you have to cross over. That's not easy, isn't it? You want that fixed or you want to keep? Okay, you got to talk about the banner. I think I'll have to catch it on streaming, but I will for that. I'll probably be back to normal, but not till August, September here. Okay. Sucks for Islington girl. Shout out to Ontario and the area she's from because it wasn't too far from where I was from. So we talked about drop-offs because Cruella may drop off. Something already has, and it looks like John Cena and his boyfriend are arguing. John China talked a lot of crap, or he apologized for talking crap. And how dare you consider Taiwan to be a country? The China box office, Fast and Furious 9 falls 85% amid weak reviews in the John Cena controversy. The Universal tentpole is projected to finish its China run with 211 million. A big number, but a little better than half of the Fate and Furious that earned, I guess, 400 plus million in China. Let's get a little bit more into depth into this story. Chinese film goers have hit the brakes on Justin Lin's F9, the Universal tentpole, downshifted 85% in its second weekend, earning just $20 million compared to the 136 roaring opening weekend. That is not a good indicator. Not just of, we can talk about sentiment, but that really meant like, okay, people didn't want to see this movie. So after 2 laps, the Vin Diesel John Cena action flick totaled 185 million, slightly ahead of where the spinoff Hobbs and Shaw was sitting at a similar point in its China run, which also means there's a fall off like to the Chinese market for a film franchise that is catered towards China. I mean, Fast and Furious movies for the past like 5 to 10 of them. I don't know how many have been made because the numbering doesn't even matter. But they have been like for China by China movies. They're big budget action because China likes the spectacle. They don't like being pandered to. They like the spectacle. I mean, so do us, to be honest. So that's what they've been for. And even Hobbs and Shaw was a fall off point. And again, I keep bringing this point up that we'll talk about a woke standpoint or a controversial standpoint, but there's always an indicator of some distress beforehand. So Hobbs and Shaw was already, because if this got half of the Fate and the Furious, I mean the spinoff wasn't as popular as the mainline franchise, which is typical, but it's still indicating something going on. So it's weaker than preceding franchise mainstays Furious 7 and Fate and the Furious, which topped out at 390 million and 392 million, respectively. So each close to 400 million is what they got for those main parts of the franchise. And then Hobbs and Shaw was a drop off. And this slightly beating that, but still a drop off from the other two, respectively. Mayon currently projects. So this is the Chinese ticketing app Mayon currently projects F9 to finish at 212 million. Certainly not a number to slouch out, especially with Hollywood in the place it's in, far inferior to the franchise's heights, especially since China's theatrical market is back to its full earning capacity. And look at the 825 million earned by High Mom, which was a local comedy in February. I think it's one of the biggest. I think that might be one of the biggest grossing movie of the year. All overall is High Mom in China. I'm not joking. So far, whether or not John Cena's humiliating Taiwan, China gaff, and I don't know where the Hollywood Reporter is coming out humiliating. Was it humiliating because he said Taiwan was a country, you shills, or was it humiliating because he tucked his tail between his legs and bent the knee? And the only reason he did it is because of magazines like the Hollywood Reporter enabling such a pro-China stance for decades, and all of Hollywood being China shill for decades, which meant he had no other choice. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have done it, but his career would have been over. So I do want to add that to it. So let me see. How much? Okay, that's not much. I'll get to the rest of it. Or I'll skip through the rest of it. So its social scores on my own is 7.5 and 5.5 on Duke, but these are different scores in China. So I guess it was not really reviewed that well. Japanese import Stand By Me Doreen opened up in second place. Let's talk about the Chinese markets. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this. Let's see what you guys have to say. I'll check the D Live and then check to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Yeah, you guys are going. All right. I will not even go into the. Oh, yeah. I need to check that out. The imagery in Cruella, watch a channel called Pockets of the Future. May have heard that, but yeah, I'm sure there is. Because, yeah, when she did the little devil thing, burning stuff and the stuff on her face, there's lots of satanic stuff. I have zero interest to see Suicide Squad and Fast 9 do this, see the situation in Taiwan. So my question is just, Norrie, were you interested in those franchises? I had zero interest in either beforehand. That didn't impact me. But were you interested? Zero interest before, since you did those with me, zero interest before to see the situation. I didn't want to see the first Suicide Squad. Didn't want to see this. I don't like James Gunn's style. I don't like his Guardians of the Galaxies. I don't want this. You know what I mean? And nor do I want to see I haven't seen the Fast and Furious since like Tokyo Drift. That's just the reality. It'll be streaming for y'all soon. It'll open up August. Next movie I want to see is Dude, Unless the World Ends Again, which there's no guarantee it will or won't. She'll be able to see that in theater. Yeah, Dude comes out late in the year. I think you should be able to see that as with the girl. Cena is a weenie. Is a wiener. You can't see that. You can't see Cena. That's a question I had too. Since Canada is part of the domestic market, shut right now. When they release stuff later, when it's open, it's still money. Maybe. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. Now he's doing his time is up. His time is now. We can see you at Kami now. John Cena sucks. He's buzz. Your battery's low, since you do though. Cinema is still closed in the PR of Canada. I could go on. What? $200 million on Cruella? Okay, we're going to get into. Yep, that's the next story. What the? Okay, we talk all the time about how things are going down in Hollywood. How are these properties being greenlit? And they've been going down before the last year, before the pandemic. There were indicators of sickness in the Hollywood's ability to fund itself. Movie theaters were going down. A lot of that is because Hollywood takes such a big cut, but they're taking such a big cut to justify the budgeting. How is Cruella a $200 million movie? Whose idea was it to give $200 million to something like a Cruella de Vil Joker-style origin story? And like, how? You can't get this done for like 50 mil? I'm thinking, okay, they could get this done 50, 60 mil. What special effects do they need? They did the little one piece of CG. That's it, right? They don't need special effects. If you're going to do the Joker gimmick, one of the biggest parts of the Joker gimmick was the lack of, how cheap the movie was. That's insane. That's insane. You know what? What do you get when you spend all your money trying to emulate something and you ruin established property?
Get what you fucking deserve!
Oh shit, that echo. Damn it. I'm doing it again.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Okay, that's better. Sheesh. And Cincinnati's charged up to the brim, Islington girl. I'm not sure if that's an offer. Most cinemas are closed across Canada, if not all of them, for sure in Ontario. Speaking of which, shout out to Lord Thaw for not bending the knee, and all of his people for not bending the knee to the Ontario, authoritarian mandates. So hey, we can finally get that Cena heel turn. Do it now, Vince. When he returns, I think he's doing SummerSlam. Yeah, he's definitely coming back. You know what? You might as well. You know what they could do? They could do a Sergeant Slaughter style China heel turn. I'm sure they would. Maybe they would. Vince is crazy. So you would have pirated enough movies. Well, that's, you know what, New Mom Turk? That's more interest than I thought. To even do that, to even sell the high seas for either of those movies. I just nothing. Maybe Fix had no desire to see in Suicide Squad or F9. Me neither. Pretty soon they'll be measuring those films with moral success because the financial success won't be marketable. Absolutely. Yep. And since you don't agree with Bryce Day, I do too. That's right. New Mount her Cruella was ridiculously expensive. Same amount, $200 million. That's insane. Minimum $100 million. Wow. And it's been wow. I thought minimum. I thought $100 million maybe out the door because it's like 50, 60 plus the little marketing budget. I thought something in line with Mortal Kombat. That's what I genuinely thought. These companies don't know how to spend money. We'll get into another company, another IP farm that has nothing that's trying to get a billion. How many starving children could you feed for $200 million? That's virtual cinema Hollywood. Why can't you get better at I keep saying it. These people aren't good at their jobs. The producers, the Hollywood executives, they're not good at it. There's no way you couldn't have gotten this movie made for 75 max. There's no special effects. necessity to get 200 million. They were shooting new COVID restrictions. There were ways around that. There's a state called Texas. So Disney, because they're dumb, let them burn. Yeah, let them burn. But this is why I don't have the plan of trying to save our old IPs. They cannot be saved. There's too much against them. There's too much stupidity at a basic level. There's too much incompetence. Why am I losing subs? Is at 115? Now it's 106. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm getting sub craziness. Oh, trust me, they're still trying to message you in Ontario Gulag. Well, you let him know Thoth. Give him Lord Thoth's name. He's an Egyptian Canadian god. But I'm sure, we're not a Back to Blue channel either. Even though I got to give, Thoth credit and a lot of people who's kind of stood up to the enforcement. I'm sure there's people who are there's a lot of good and bad. And this is Memorial Day, want to be nice to the veterans. And but the bad exists and the shitty exists. And the people who are power hungry exist as well. That's why you never go a hardline stance either way with anything. You want to fatten up your offspring dietary needs. Okay, what are we saying? We all know Cena was talking about when he said he's such beach full of whoa. Oh boy, he does say that. This is just stupid. Stupid. Yeah, I'm so fracking fed up with this. You and me both, Normie. You and me both. Silly little polar bear. And the CGI was Cruella was terrible on that budget. Unbelievable. Well, hey, Wonder Woman supposedly had like 170, 200 million style budget. Shitty CGI. There's some scenes that have CGI, but $200 million worth of CGI. How? Okay, you could have gotten this movie could have been made for the same budget Mortal Kombat was. And hell's your boy 24/7 Fusion Media, who just sent the comic, by the way. I would say I would have a PO box, but if you haven't heard, the Vigilante Mobile got not destroyed, still functional, but I don't know about functional. But the Vigilante Williamson Mobile broke down in the process of me getting my PO box. Well, after I couldn't get it. All I ask is a week before you jump ship on it, YouTube is going to push back. We all know the risk is there. Okay. Oh yeah, 156 down to 152. Yeah, it's a lot of shittiness with that. Because mine is with from 468 to 450 to 466. I don't know what's going on. $70 million budget. Yeah, I've heard between 50 and 70. CGI was way better than these $200 million budgets. I don't get it. Why? I don't get it. But you know something? All money's not spent equally. You know what? I'll tell you what I think it is. Diversity hiring. I've heard something along Disney is like 40%, and no disrespect to the community, but 40% alphabet community, alphabet mafia, so to speak. And I'm sure there's a lot of talented people in the alphabet mafia, but considering how relatively small of a minority, if you're extrapolating that high of a percentage, the odds that incompetent people are going to be hired simply for their sexual preference grows higher, so to speak. I'm trying to be as PC with my phrasing as possible, right? Because I don't want to say he's homophobe. I got enough stuff against me. But seriously, so if you keep high, and they've been doing this for a while. We know with Marvel, we know every division has been like this. We know they've been throwing darts at Luke Skywalker's head in the story group at Lucasfilm for half a decade. So you keep hiring these people who aren't really good at their job, and you spend the same amount of money you would if they were, and that's what you get. What you get. That's my theory. That's my theory. They CGI'd the dogs and also had real dogs. What? It's about who they hire for the CGI. It's not how some of those companies charge insane amounts cash to do the work. Okay, that's also a factor as well, I'm sure. They gotta figure that out. These companies don't know how to spend money. And speaking of companies that don't know how to spend money, they're arguing. They look like they're about to kiss right after it. They passionate love. And you guys didn't see it. Let me go back to that because it's cute. John Cena and Vin Diesel. They're all cuddling together. Let's see. Actually, I'll probably go deadline proper just to show that picture again. Is it up here? Let me see. Sorry, I forgot I didn't have the thing up. Hold on as I boomer things a little bit. Come on. Oh no, I can't fucking find it. All right. Fuck it. It gets too complicated. It's not that big of a deal. But it's just they do look like they're gonna kiss John Cena. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try it one more time. Oh man, what the hell? I'm sorry about the silence and the boring. Okay, I'm just gonna go into history and recently closed. Here we go. Now you can get the romantic pose of John Cena and Vin Diesel. So here you go. Don't they look cute? Don't they look like they're about to kiss right after? It was worth it, all that headache to find. Let's see what you say. And Viz, you're talking math. That math be racist and istophobic too. Yeah, you're right about that. Pretty sure Doom, which has a ton of CGI, still only costs $200 million. A sci-fi movie, and that makes more sense. And you know what? A lot of people say they won't make their budget back. They have a much better chance of making their budget back than a lot of people thought a few months ago. Have you? They'll have Deadpool 40 million, Joker 56 million, both made $1 billion. I can dismiss bad CGI for a good movie such as Deadpool 1. Yeah. Man, look what the fucking weight down can do. No shit aside, no, not to shit on my man Matt. Shout out to Matt. Look what the fucking weight down can do with an app. While The Force Awakens had 306 million, huge cast, ton of CGI. Still, Cruella doesn't have. How much CGI is in Cruella, and how big is this cast? And why don't you create a story that costs less money? For Deadpool and for Joker, they created a story that cost them less money. Even Mortal Kombat created a story that cost them less money. You have to create a story that costs you less money. Oh, got to go to the store for chicken and burgers. May see some of y'all later. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day. Hail to all the soldiers serving us now and all the ones who sacrificed for us. Here, go Kyle. Enjoy your Memorial Day. I appreciate your very, very generous super chat. It was, never allegate. I always appreciate I say that. But thank you so much, man. Thank you. I think the last one of the Stinky sequels, even more than The Force Awakens. Yeah, I think they lost money on the Fall of Soywalker. I'm pretty sure they lost money. Cinch a dildo salutes Gomer Kyle. We all salute Gomer Kyle. Salute to every soldier who served. Joker had very little CGI compared to Deadpool. Deadpool was only given that $40 million to make the movie. They had to do the best with what they could, and they ended up with a much more profitable movie than Cruella. Okay, I'm just tired of looking at these two kids. Let's talk about other financial issues. If Vin Diesel standing on the soapbox, he's a short guy. And Mortal Kombat was created the way it was to play it safe. On 71 million. I think it was great for what they did. Better than some MCU movies. Yeah, some of them, because some of them are not not that well. So these are total budgets you guys are tossing out. So you guys are including the marketing. Okay, that makes that was a little more helpful. Yeah, makeup sex. That's exactly what it looks like, right? It looks like they're about to have gay makeup sex. That's just the honest thing. I think Hollywood needs to say this is how much you have in budget. I say 50 million. You can't make a movie, you're out. Yeah, I don't see it, for certain things. I understand breaking the bank. If you're going to make Dune, it's going to cost money. If you want to make the Avengers, it's going to cost some money. But if you want to make Cruella, you got to get that done for 50 to 75 million. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. There's just none. You have to get that done. And people said when they shot through the COVID situation, well, then that means they knew what they had to get done. You could have done this. It could have been done. So they're both. I heard Vin Diesel was not list like he may be listed in it. I heard he was not that. But I could be wrong. Honestly, I think I've heard both of them are not the heights that you listed. But who knows? There are directors that know how to do it. 50 million is a lot to work with, no excuses. The technology with the CGI, I talk about the way down. Look on YouTube. Look at some of the effects and editing you could get on YouTube for free. With guys and gals out there who really, they have decently high-end computers and they put in a lot of work. It's unacceptable. So we're talking about Lionsgate. We talked about MGM overselling as far as I'm concerned. We talked about these inflated budgets. Vigilante Williamson comes to screw up everything. Oh yeah. We need to see the next Tom Cruise to compare. He's really a short guy. But Lionsgate, this is a few months ago. This is March 23rd. Lionsgate said Tuesday, in March, that it would offer up $1 billion in senior notes. So this is a company that was in financial trouble. And this is more to what I'm saying about why are these property houses and these studios selling for so much? Because there are people who think Lionsgate is the next one to go. We've seen what happened with not Disney. Well, they're Disney because they bought 20th Century Fox, they bought Marvel, they bought Star Wars. They started it off. But then Discovery and their merger with Warner Media, which apparently may be sold to another company, that may be the whole point of this thing, to package a deal and sell it off to somewhere else. The Comcast, Viacom, CBS, Viacom's probably going to be sold itself. AMC Networks, all the reason that's going to be independent is China. And of course, Apple, which is lowly and lost in the content creation game, but still huge in the iPad and iPhone game. That's where their money is being made. And of course, the whack max, but that's neither here nor there. Lionsgate CEO said Thursday that the media merger deals as many weeks are resounding affirmations of content, value of content, IP, and brands. Man, all of this stuff is being overvalued. Everything is being overvalued. None of this stuff is worth it, man. All of this IP, all of this content, all of this stuff, when there's never been more of a need for new content and new IP. Amazon spent $8 billion for a bunch of properties nobody wants to see anymore. And they're gonna just make them woke. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's nothing to Amazon. Well, neither is somebody picking 94 instead of 95 per hour items, but they will shit on them if they do. So if you're going to shit on a $13 to $20, if he's lucky, employee in South Carolina because he didn't pick enough items in a minute or in an hour, you're telling me you don't give a fuck about spending $8 billion for properties like Legally Blonde and Raging Bull that can never be remade or repackaged for any more money? Now, yes, you can use them as a content farm for your already number one platform, Amazon Prime, because of the shipping, which is the only reason it's so popular. But it doesn't have value for you in that standpoint, even though the government may pay for it. That's neither here nor there. We have other properties. Every single solitary media company is for sale right now. and they're being sold for a king's ransom. But I don't see any of these things turning profits. This seems like almost a damn Ponzi scheme, money laundering, because I just don't see the value. I don't see the value when all these things, Netflix, which is the number one actual streaming service, where it's only a streaming service, is in the red most years. Look, they just they purchased a licensing deal with Sony Pictures for I think 5 to 10 years. They will be housing all their content. And I don't get it, because that would actually make more sense than any other one, because at least Sony produces a lot of Sony will still be handling the cost of a lot of the production. I guarantee they're going to bring shit in under budget. Yeah, there's a market for Bond potentially, but we know what's going to happen with No Time to Me Too. We know what's going to happen. Oh, we just got a new sub. Hell, Rezakai, I appreciate the new sub. Thank you for subbing during the stream, man. Or madam. Thank you. Like, if you go through the list, I know a lot of people are interested in Stargate. I know a lot of people. James Bond's still going to have some cachet. It's had cachet for years. I think it's in trouble, but it still has cachet. It still could be rebuilt. But for $8 billion, there's 2 or 3 franchises you may be able to make money off of. A lot of stuff that's just going to house on Amazon Prime. It just seems like they overpaid. It just seemed like they overpaid. And a lot of people, well, they didn't want Disney or someone else to buy it. Who cares if Disney owns RoboCop? Do you think RoboCop is that valuable? Maybe Disney could do it, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Bring back Inspector Gadget, says Crapbo Steak from the Twitch. We are on Twitch. Shout out to Twitch. Actually, just real quick, just check the D Live. I care about D Live even if no one else cares. And no activity. Maybe one viewer, that may be me. I don't know where Inspector Gadget is in the IP land. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I think, and maybe I'm projecting my own beliefs. Maybe I didn't think there was 27 million worth of people to fucking watch Cruella, but there are. Maybe indeed there's enough people for all of these old IPs. Like whatever, I don't really know what Lionsgate has. I'm sure. Let's see if they get into it. But I'm just gonna kind of skip through this. The merger comes in waves and constant waves a gap further and further apart. They're bigger and bigger because there are fewer and fewer companies. In the sector since the 80s. Lionsgate looks a lot like MGM. It has one of the leading libraries. Oh, so you know what? Lionsgate does have a few franchises worth a little bit. I didn't know they had John Wick and Saw and even the Hunger Games. Hunger Games, you know what the Hunger Games represents? It's one of the only original franchises that have been profitable the past 20 years. That and, whatever we want to think about Sparkly Boy, that and Twilight are 2 of the only franchises of genre the past 20 years. I mean, Harry Potter, if you go 30-ish, I think it was the 90s when Harry Potter came out, maybe 30, 35, if you want to exclude that. But, those are the only relatively newer intellectual properties. You probably could get some more. I know there's more out of John Wick, and I know there's more out of Hunger Games. They at least make more sense. I would say, looking at just those franchises, they're probably more valuable to MGM. They're probably already more valuable to MGM because those I can at least see. I can see if they made a really good Saw movie, people wanting to see it. I can see if they made another Hunger Games, people wanting to see it. Oh, Robot Vigilante Williamson. Oh, no, don't do this to me. This sucks. Vampire Craze is over. Yeah, Minions and maybe. Minions and Gru have been also. What happened? Where are they at? And I have the anniversary box set pre-Craig. I grew up on the IP. That's the thing. There is a lot of James Bond. Yeah, this thing. Jane Bond. This is what I'm worried about. Yeah, Bond sounds badly cut. I don't follow those movies. Daniel Craig, I don't think he's been a good James Bond. He made one good movie, one all right movie. He's not been a good James Bond. Cucked Bond. Yeah. Yeah, I've not been a fan of James Bond. with that. I liked Casino Royale. I thought Skyfall was watchable. I didn't like anything else he did. And I think they should have already got rid of him. They already screwed Saw by handing off the title character to one of its followers. Did they? Oh, geez. Fans too tend to do better than $1 million companies because fans care and know about the soul of the IP. Very true. Remember, yeah, he's a terrible Bond. He just doesn't fit. What do you mean that guys still take vampires all day over the woke crap that we have now? You know something else, isn't it, girl? Not just saying this because you're a girl. Vampires are one of the few things that brought a lot of women into genre. I'll tell you, if Inspector Gadget comes back, it will be a banger. Remember, I said it first. I will remember Crap Mustang. There are a lot of franchises that could come back if done well. But I just don't think I don't think they'll do it well. I don't know who owns Inspector Gadget. I would, but you know what? Another thing, if any of these IP are going to be successful, I would like to see some more fan ownership. I really wish that fans could buy a character. I remember there were some fans who wanted to buy part of DC. It's not going to happen. But I wish fans could buy these properties. I wish fans ran these properties. But what has to happen is fans need to create the property. We need a new Inspector Gadget, Crap Mustang. And I'm going to keep saying that because it's funny to say. But we need a new Inspector Gadget. We need a new James Bond. Well, I don't know if you can do a new James Bond. Or even, we need something new. We need new IP. And we have to create it. Oh boy. I want to see a vampire save an inner city school. That actually might be interesting. But unfortunately, that's what we're going to get with Blade. Just glad there are no polar bear vampires. That sounds, worse than a cocaine bear. No, not woke ones, regular ones. Fine. If it's new IP, let's go. Yeah, I think new IP is what's going to get popular. Buffy rocks. Twilight sucks. All of this old IP, a lot of people are frightened. A lot of people are like, oh no, a few conglomerates own all the media company. You know what I mean? Oh my God. There's only a few companies that own all the media. This is frightening. This is, what are we going to do? It's like, are you serious?
Welcome to the party, pal.
This has been the case for like 30 years. Like 6 media companies. I don't care who they are. They're just different now. The 6 or 7 media companies are just different. It used to be like Disney or whatever. Now it's Amazon instead of MGM. Now it's this Discovery Media thing. There's still about 6 or 7 media companies who run everything. Nothing's really changed. Just there's been a little bit more consolidation and movement. And now the companies are not the tech companies. But why should they be? And also, geez, as the dog Vigilantes are screaming, fucking, make sure, you know what? I think my sister may be picking up dog, her. Okay, no, it's not that. This dog's walking by. Hold on. Hold on a second. I gotta handle these dogs. All right, sorry about that. It's still kind of going. Okay. Sheesh, hold on again. Sorry. All right. Hopefully they stop. All hell corporatism. But it's just like this isn't new. And there's been about 6 or 7 IP farms for about 20, 30 years. 30 years almost. Maybe even 40. and they own a lot of stuff. But the difference is one of them, Google. Love them or hate them, they have platforms that allow independent IP. They have this one, YouTube. Yes, you have to deal with their terms of service, but hey, you guys have already monetized me despite all them fucking with our subs and everything else. You guys have kept me monetized. You guys have supported me in 24/7 Future Me. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Why not? Give me a second. Let me get through it. And yeah, you can join me for this. And we only have this and then one more story about Tenahisi Coates. So it's two stories. Then we get into the positive stories and go. I can't stay long though, man. I cannot do because I'm going to try to get out of here by 5, but I will toss you a link in a little bit if you're still there through the Twitter. Like a little after 5 at the latest. Oh yeah, I still want to know how Sony is going to explain Craven being played by the same guy who was Quicksilver in the Mill MCU. Same way they explained Ralph Boner. The Vigilante maybe have a slight vampire bias. A lot of women tend to like vampires. I have to admit, while playing a vampire in the first generation White Wolf role-playing game, Vampire the Masquerade. I see. Release the pooches. I see. Bring in a live-action Wild Thornberry movie. I'm not sure, man. I think they'll fuck that up. Like, these are ideas that you could do if you did them well. If you had writers that care, but I just don't think that Hollywood has the talent. Top to bottom, I don't think they have the talent. It's the girl played Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines, and it was low-key hilarious because I sucked. I see. I want to see Count Dracula lecture police on how they need to do better. I would watch that if he said impalings were needed. There you go. Oh man, this is not film. I'll say yes, but we are not going. Like I said, max an hour because I do have things to do. I have to get the Vigilante mobile. So thank you, bro. Okay. Moody former German soldier from World War One turned gang grail living in New Orleans. I suck too. I see. All right, let me, because I guess, you know what, let me get into the last story with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Then I'll send you both the link and we can talk about both stories, either the IP farming and then the Ta-Nehisi Coates thing, if you want to. I think the IP farm has more teeth. I just thought it was an interesting observation. That's why it was the title concept for this podcast. Speaking of things, this is Ta-Nehisi Coates is a guy of a lot of controversy, right? Apparently, I didn't even know this, that his essay influenced the Wokeman series that we got. I know he's been a writer of Captain America and Black Panther for a while. And he's obviously had it's a Memorial Day. He's had some very fucked up things to say about 9/11 first responders. Just no other way around it. However, a broke clock is right twice a day. And there's two interesting points that he came out with recently. One in this Polygon interview. And it may actually both of it be from this Polygon interview. We're just going to go direct for the interview and then bounding for the other report. He was asked about Superman. And he gave, I thought, just an interesting response. And here it is. Nothing I say. Let me actually ask the question and then I'll give a response. So, speaking of things that are wild, you're now participating in the legacy of one of the most powerful superhero characters. What can you say about Superman and what that journey has been like for you thus far? Nothing I can say will be helpful here. Absolutely nothing. Nothing I can say will do anything to improve how this film is ultimately received. I got a big thing. I want people to have their own experience with the art. I don't want to step on it. I don't want them to hear me. I don't want them to see me as much as possible. I don't want them to see me. I want them to see what we ultimately produce and what I'm trying to do. So I'm not even being coy here. We live in an era where people, because you have social media, you can share so much. The instinct when you're creating is to let fans in on the process, to let them see where you're going. And I might do that after, but that's an aftermath thing that I would do. I worry I would do injustice to the art. I just worry that you are, however, unintentionally seeding seeding ideas in people's heads. Now, look, there's a point where you have trailers and things like that. I'm going to have to talk about it, but if it were up to me, I wouldn't say anything until it had been out and seen and consumed and all of that. I don't want to get in the way. I want Superman to have his chance. I think that's an interesting quote from a guy with kind of his track record. Oh man, so I didn't know. Great minds think alike. 24/7 Fusion Media just dropped a video on the same subject, and again, it's self awareness here. And maybe he was told by the studios. Maybe he's just a little more self aware. If you read this interview, I didn't read all of it, but you do realize this guy did grow up reading comics. Granted, it was the 80s, and you may forget comics used to be mainstream, so most kids in the 80s grew up reading comics. But he did. Talked about Secret Wars. He talked about stuff. He definitely still had that woke perspective. He's a super woke guy. He's a CRT specialist. But I think it's interesting that he's has that much self-awareness. Oh no, Bob Gelante is asking me during the podcast. You know what? I got it. I kind of have to take this call. See that I don't even. Oh, this is gonna be rough, guys. Please hold on. I, thank you for bearing with me. There are dogs, there's family stuff. Like I said, my car's in a not great situation. I know guys want to hop on, and I want to get to both of these Ta-Nehisi Coates points because it's interesting that he has this much self awareness. And I'm going to play slight angel's advocate for Ta-Nehisi Coates. And it's actually going to mirror something Dalton, the authenticator, said to me on Thursday night throwdown, where he said that these people believe it's the right thing. They genuinely, like every other supervillain, they genuinely believe themselves to be in the right. That's why they're doing these things. I'm somebody who says a lot of them are bad actors. They don't really believe this stuff they're using for power. But in Ta-Nehisi Coates' case, I genuinely think he believes his own bullshit, better or worse. And I genuinely think he thinks this is the best way to go about change for his people. That's literally his belief. He's been brainwashed. He's an intellectual, what is it? What's the word? He's academic. He's an overly academic book intelligentsia type guy. Tiny weedy scrotes. But it's interesting he had enough awareness to realize he needs to stay out of the way of Superman. And I have another maybe hot take. I want him to be successful with Superman. I've said Superman is a completely dead entity as far as mainstream. And Superman from Lois is showing me, maybe proving me wrong. Superman and Lois, I mean, maybe proving me wrong. But I think Superman films haven't really been good since the 80s. Or whenever Superman 2 came out. And that's not the only interesting thing that Ta-Nehisi Coates. And this is another reason why I really want 2-4 on, now that I think about it. Because this is a point that he's had about Marvel not paying their creators. Let me see. Yeah, this is actually in the Polygon interview. So this is from the same interview. And this is Bounding's report of it, though. So he says, I'm not even talking much about the writing. I'm talking about the marketing. I wish more had been done on that level. Can I say something else too? I'm not talking about myself here because I feel like I'm somebody who's fortunate in the sense I've been able to make a living in all kinds of ways, but there are people who make their living off of comic books. I wish Marvel found better ways to compensate the creators who helped make Black Panther Black Panther. I wish they found better ways to help compensate the folks who made Captain America Captain America. He elaborated. I'm talking specifically here about I wish they found ways to compensate the author of the greatest Winter Soldier stories you're ever going to read. I don't love that there's a Falcon and Winter Soldier show on TV, and I'm hearing from Ed Brubaker that he couldn't even get in contact with them. I just don't love that. So for all the shit you may think about Ta-Nehisi Coates, he's speaking up for Ed Brubaker, something that you may not expect. And we've talked about how I think a lot of the reason we have so much shitty comics is you don't pay a creator that much. They hold back because they have to. I think the average creator is more likely to want to get their independent deal. They just sit at Marvel. They just wait for the chance to get an independent deal and get an image created or image independent deal or whatever, a creator owned project or a crowdfund, and they save their best stuff for that because they're not making money off of Marvel's stuff. Before going too far into it, I'm going to go ahead and toss my guest, fortunate as in privilege. You might think ISIS are true believers too. Hey, I'm not. You're not wrong. Who is he saying? These people, huffers of flatulence. You guys instead of fart sniffers. And Darius Munchausen is back. Cool. Cuber. I'd argue being intelligent in that environment is a crutch. You guys see my man Darius Munchausen. So yeah, give me a second. I'm going to give links to both Fimmer and 24/7, and we can talk about both stories. I definitely want their input on the IP thing and their input on Ta-Nehisi Coates said two things I agree with. He needs to stand back in the. He has the self-awareness to know that he could be a negative for whatever happens with that Superman, which I still think is probably going to be a disaster, but I think they're just nothing but disaster. And also that the compensation of the creators in comics is just not right. So let's get off camera so I can see, and then go ahead and send the link to 24/7 Fusion Media and Fearing the Ice Wolf so we can discuss the subjects for a little bit because I do have to go a little bit. So new message. Oh Jesus! Why is everything so complicated for my such a boomer? Yeah, see, I saw Fimmer's banner. It is nice. It is nice. So here is Fimmer's link and 24/7 Fusion Media. Your boy, your link is coming. Yeah, it's a pretty cool banner. Okay, so here is 24/7 Fusion Media. You just got your link. See the notifications real quick. Anything interesting? Okay, so just people liking my tweet about this channel. By the way, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the stream if you like. Because those type of intellectuals don't realize you can learn something from anyone. They aren't open to that, so they say stupid things. They don't question themselves. Basically, I've known more than a few self-proclaimed intellectuals who are intelligent in one way are dismissively ignorant and profoundly stupid in other ways. Thomas Sowell has a theory about this. Let me get back on camera. His theory is, a great basketball. Well, you can't say that anymore because of LeBron. But typically, a great basketball player knows he's just a great basketball player. A great pianist just knows he's a great pianist. He doesn't think he can do brain surgery because he's a great pianist. But if you're considered a great academic, a great intelligent, very intelligent person, there's a tendency to believe that you are intelligent in other spaces in which you're not. It looks like both of my guests just showed up. I need to toss my headphones on so I can hear them. So yes, first off, it's your boy 24/7 Fusion Media. And it is none other than Favorite Ice Wolf. Thank you both for joining me. How you guys doing?
Shit, I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty
Yeah,
good,
I'm doing
man.
good. How you guys?
Cool. So what do you think? You said you just did a video. I missed it on Tenahisi Coates. So what do you think about him having at least some self-awareness to know he needs to get the fuck out the way of Superman if it has any hope of being successful?
Well, actually, the video on that one I dropped like 2 days ago on
you
that
did?
part. Yeah, and that
okay.
And to me, it sounded like he knew that if he zig when he should have zagged on the Superman, that he knows for the rest of his fucking career, man, for the rest of his life, the way the world is now and the way it'll continue to go, they'll never let him down, man. They'll always forever like the Last Jedi. That should forever be a fucking bad taste in everybody's mouth concerning Rian Johnson. It'll be the same shit with him. So
absolutely, yeah.
Abrams too. He's known as the franchise killer for that.
Right.
Yep. Abrams now has 3. He's going for his 3rd scalp with DC. You got Superman
Batman cartoon with Bruce Timm.
That pissed me off. That I guess Bruce Timm and Paul Dini are both taking a check from my man JJ.
You know,
I get it. But
I'm sorry, man. I was just thinking about something you're saying right now when you brought up Bruce Timm's name. I did a video when it first popped, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, when they were first talking about doing, like a continuation of the old Batman, the animated series, and they had Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
Yeah.
And then
why would they need JJ at all?
Dude, that's the thing. They come and so they were talking about this shit a month ago. So why'd they come with the re-announcement with JJ and fucking Matt Reeves?
Matt Reeves.
And then what happened to Paul Dini? The thing is, you something happened where he's out because he was in a month ago.
Oh man, I thought he was still in.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yes.
So
I think
and that's the thing, and even Bruce Timm is in there as some kind of executive producer. So it's not even him, dude. Nah, man.
Look, I don't have much hope for this. I'll probably see episode 1. If that doesn't go the way I think it will, I will keep up. But if it goes the exact way we all can predict, I'm out.
Oh man, I wish that didn't get made. I really wish that didn't get made.
Dude, it's Bruce Timm. He created a generation of golden cartoons that surpass even the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Agreed.
That is why they're bringing it back. But if this fails, then they'll give into a huge bad taste in the mouth of all the old fans.
That's sad.
And see, and that's the thing. They're trying to reach a new audience using the shit that that was new to us.
Dude, have you seen the Superman one? The Superman cartoon? No new audience is going to drop for that with anime and manga on the other side of the road.
Exactly. That Jimmy Olsen, LGBTQ friendly Jimmy Olsen.
Lois Lane
with a pack. I'm predicting that it hasn't been said.
No, I bet $50 with both of you. He's going to come out super out of the closet.
I predict that's going to be a thing. It hasn't been said, but just by the design, that's where I think they're going.
And I mean, and to know that it's written by what the chick that wrote
She-Ra? The She-Ra cartoon. Yeah, we already know what's going to happen.
So why wouldn't they do that?
Dude, they're going to be shipping. So, oh my goodness, there's so much shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Writers like her love the concept of shipping because they think that's going to keep the fandom alive. It might work, but it's not 100% good thing to rely on.
So just it's funny, man. Just to think, man, that that kind of like that kind of writing that they were doing for that, they tried to actually emulate it into like that Powerpuff Girl shit, man, to where it was like more.
Did you see the script?
Oh yeah, man. I was watching Vigilante when he was reading it off, man.
It's incredible.
Reading all of that, did you guys even? Did you think the girls were even human beings? The way they were speaking and acting, they didn't seem like humans.
They seemed like Twitter posts. There were Tumblr posts. There were Twitter and Tumblr posts as dialogue.
And you know what's funny? This is supposed to be This is supposed to be an adult equivalent of the Powerpuff Girls. There's a dude out there called Excel Art. He did a comic book about the adult Powerpuff Girls. It's amazing, pretty good and respectful of the lore, and he did it by himself. And this guy does pornographic comic books on the internet. I mean, look at the irony. And it's not even pornographic, the one he did. It is 100% respectful. Respects the character, the lore. It even goes into a dark turn, but it's still good. It's amazing how this guy alone did this and $1 million company failed. It's on issue number 5 by now to come. Pretty good.
Wow.
Let's check it out.
Oh, man. I guess now we're talking about fanfic, because a lot of stuff is fanfic to me. But Isn't Girl says she
fanfic can be better.
Cheesy fanfic. Isn't Girl, you're a better writer than everybody in Hollywood. They don't have the talent. That's why I talked about them spending all these billions on these IPs. Y'all are just going to ruin them. Why are y'all spending all this money?
Yeah, just make new IPs. I mean, ask Vigilante. I send them constant scripts all the time. Yeah, new shit. Super easy to make new IP.
I mean, I guess it goes back to that one article that I read about 3 weeks ago about this dude saying why they actually use the old IPs is just to push that message, man. Because the IPs is something that people, whether they hear good things or bad things about it, some people just want to see it for themselves. So if it's going to be a shit show, some people just want to see it. Not to say they want to see it like in agreement, but they just want to see it for themselves, man. There's a lot of people that just, no matter how bad something is, if it's something that they love, they just want to see it for themselves, man. And it's not to support it. It's just to see, like, man, I can't, like, I'm hearing all this shit. I'm seeing these trailers, all this other stuff, but I just have to see it for myself, man. And
almost a train wreck mentality. Like, you gotta look.
I mean, and that's what it is, man. Some people just want to see it for themselves because they respect the IPs and they can't believe.
Go ahead, Fenrir. You were roboting a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe Fenrir got by the CIA.
That was good.
Exactly. You ever seen the YouTuber called Professor Geek?
Yeah, I think I've seen Professor Geek before.
Yeah. Professor Geek.
He said that most fans won't be able to stand the desire to watch it, and in itself also promoting this. I mean, you may not be paying, you may be pirating, but you're still promoting it by watching it.
Very true.
Most fans cannot resist.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah, it's just, because they saw everything before it from the time they were kids all the way to that point where the shit's about to go left. And they're like, yo, I keep hearing that it's about to be woke. It's about to be this. But, like some people are hearing about that shit about The Expanse. This new season was about to be woke. They heard it, but people had to go tune in just to see it for themselves, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to support anything woke, but it's just, man, this has been flying straight for so long. Now it's about to make this hard left.
So true. I mean, look at modern woke shows that are just made out of the blue. They barely make it a season and a half because no one gives a shit. No one is invested in these characters. No one's passed years with them. No one cares.
Right.
Yeah. And I keep saying outside of wokeness, they're just not good. Like, they're not writing a lot of good stories or making a lot of good IP that people want to see. There's not a lot of stuff that people are looking for, and it's a past 5, 6, 7 years of a decline, and they're declining with some of their own audiences that they're looking for. There are people starting to wake up, but there's so many people who are really into the woke, the CRT or whatever, and just again they're using it as a shield. They don't have the talent to write. But
no, they don't. They really don't. I mean, I just bought the most recent Mr. Miracle, burned it into ashes because it is bullshit. I mean, they destroyed the character. I mean, it's not Scott Free, it's the other guy. What the fuck is his name? I don't even want to remember. But still, they're insulting every black person in the world with this constant bullshit about racism, evil, every white man's evil, and creating a bad world themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for God's sakes, even in the times where there was confusion, you know what's ironic? These black characters are writing black characters in a way that everyone, even black people, hate. But back in the old day, when racism was actually strong, white people wrote black characters even better. Pretty funny, right?
I never thought of that, but you're not wrong. We talked about Tenahisi Coates and what he did with Black Panther and stuff like that.
And that is why I forever will hate him. You destroyed Black Panther and Captain America. I will forever hate that man.
Yeah, and now he's going to get the chance to destroy Superman, despite how little the chance I think it is of him being successful. I do genuinely want him to be successful.
It's not going to be successful. Look, they already showed us it's not going to be successul by making it Clark Kent, not Calvin Ellis or whatever the other guy who's Barack Obama of his own universe.
Yeah.
They already showed us this isn't going to succeed because they're going to go to the woke side. Instead of just doing one of those, they're going to go straight for Clark. Really annoying.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a period piece. So I wonder what time they're trying to stick him into. What could you imagine? Days of slavery,
or the 30s or the 40s, or slavery, right?
My greatest fear is they're probably going to put him around the 60s, or maybe around Jim Crow era to do the whole crazy superpower black guy shtick.
Yep, that's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing as well. And isn't the girl's talking about her fanfic while we're talking?
This is watching that bullshit. They could have done a lot of great characters. They could have done Icon. He's pretty much Black Superman, a character of his own. Icon?
Well, actually, I heard they're building up to that. Depends if the Static movie they're working on is successful.
Yeah, BLM.
Come on, Icon can make it alone without Static. They've already ruined Static's origin if they go with the modern one where it's all BLM bullcrap. That version of Static is a psychopath.
Oh yeah,
clearly he was gonna kill a person.
Yeah, actually, that's the version they're going with. So.
Well, I wonder. Here's my hope of if there's any hope for these mergers. Maybe the fact that they're merging with Discovery and apparently trying to resell that company, and maybe they'll think differently. And
see, when I heard you when you said that earlier. Actually, I made a video about that, last week, where when I heard that the merger was just to set up a bigger stage for something else to go down, I was like, well, I said, if this merger is as big as it is, then how are you going to take something that's as big as this, combine it, and then sell it off to somebody else to make who bigger?
Apple, either Apple or Amazon.
Apple,
or
Amazon,
Disney, right?
maybe even Disney.
I don't think
there's rumors they're going to buy this.
Disney.
Look, the MCU is pretty much dead. There's rumors Disney want to buy Warner Brothers and all the DC characters to rebuild the universe with new ones. So pretty much do Avengers versus Justice League crap.
Jesus, this is WCW getting bought by Vince McMahon all over again if that happens.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. But when I heard about the merger being a setup for a whole nother, to be bought out by somebody else, I was like, what the fuck is like what? What is this? Yeah, it's like, man, this you guys haven't even merged yet, officially, to and then all of a sudden, we're hearing plans of somebody else buying y'all out.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's too fast.
It's almost insane. Too fast. It's insane. But
it's like, stupid. Who wants to? You almost got to think they're probably doing a merger because of whoever that bidder is. This is what they want. You would imagine, right? If it's already in plan. So this is probably already sold halfway to Amazon or Apple, whoever that bidder is. Or I don't think Disney can still do it because that 20th Century Fox deal is still killing them.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I see you're saying that this whole setup deal is something that's already in place, and
for that deal,
right? Yeah. So there's already a setup behind the setup.
Yep.
How much did Disney waste to buy Fox?
Like something similar to what we talk about. Wasn't it in the 50s and 60s?
Right.
Billions of dollars for these properties.
God damn it! For characters they're not even going to use in the next 7 to 8 years.
And I heard what you were saying about Sony. I did a video about that too. Yeah, man. But, and the thing is, for years they've been, on, for sale. Yeah. And the thing is, the two things I'm gonna tell you right now from everything I've seen, the two things because a week ago the head dude at Sony said, you know what, we're no longer for sale. He dropped it. This is about a week ago he said this. But they've been for sale for years. And the two things that have been different is Spider-Man, Sony's business with Marvel, which is about to open up a whole bunch of new shit and all that other shit that they've been working out with them for the last few years. And then all of a sudden, like you said, if they can't, if Sony wants to be Sony, and they're gonna join anybody in the streaming wars, knowing that if they was to come off with their own streaming service, and I think they tried to and the shit failed or whatever the fuck, if they can't, they would never survive. They wouldn't be no better than
Paramount
CBS
Plus.
All Access and all that.
CBS All Access is the same thing. You know what I mean?
So what do? They join Netflix and give Netflix the whole library.
And I think that was
just like you said. Now, that's the thing. If you can't beat them, join them. Look, if I'm about to sink, and Netflix throws me a deal, and then plus, I've been faring pretty well off of Marvel.
Yeah.
Would you really want to sell? And then plus, you own PlayStation and everything else.
Yes.
No.
The record companies, I mean, come on. There's so much other shit to Sony.
Sony does own a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And they were for sale for everything.
Yeah, they've been on sale since that damn leak.
Right, and then so now they come, they worked out some new shit. They doing good with their Sony Marvel shit, and all of a sudden, boom, here comes Netflix.
Yeah, and I thought that was a mutual deal because Sony still owns their stuff. They're just they're doing stuff for Netflix, and I think they'll even be doing original stuff for Netflix. But they still have the ability to do their own thing if they want. If I remember it right.
Well, we'll see. They, they another thing too that I put in my video was if you think about it, it makes sense that Netflix is, they make their own movies, they got their own IPs and the whole shit, Stranger Things or whatever. Now, just think about if they want to do a Stranger Things video game, and they got good business with Sony. Now what?
Yeah. Now you can toss something out on PlayStation 5.
Dude, so basically, Netflix can have video games to go to all the movies that they're making now because now they got in good with Sony.
Yeah, I didn't consider that at all. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, shit, So now that they're making all their own movies. Now they got a whole, they got a video game company behind them.
Yeah, that could end up.
So basically, this whole streaming with Sony with Netflix could have opened up doors for Netflix to now
be a part of video game.
And then another thing too, I just dropped a video a day or two ago.
Please sell to 24/7 Fusion if you have it.
Netflix is also opening up their own gaming deal. They got a hiring ad out.
Wait, you for real,
dude? Yes. Look, if you
wow,
you can look it up in I dropped it like 2 days ago. They're looking to hire a video game person to come in and look at how to integrate gaming into to do like a bundle package.
I mean, they already have that whole make choices style for some of their shows, but video games now,
right? And they were saying, see, now they were trying to get in real good when Telltale's went under. They had Telltale's was working on the Stranger Things game when they went under, and Telltale's was doing.
On their back again. Can they just go back to it?
So here's actually,
say it again.
I get it. I mean, Telltale was under a long time ago, but are they back?
Are they back?
I'm
not sure. It goes right there.
I heard about Wolf Among Us.
It's under Tenahisi. Yeah, that's the.
They're gonna do a new Wolf Among Us game. The trailer just dropped out a couple months ago.
So yeah, real quick, plug to 24/7 Fusion's channel. It's been really hit by the algorithm because he should be having a lot more views than he does. He has one of the biggest. There's a reason he kept saying I did a video on. He's one of the hardest working.
Yeah, because I really did.
He does a video on everything. He touches. There's very few YouTubers who's going to give you the scoop on things like 24/7 Fusion Media, and I'm not just saying that because he's on the panel. I'm saying it because it's true. Because he literally already did this podcast last week with all the videos he did. So please check him out. And yeah, he already has a video about this Netflix and gaming thing. I'm gonna go ahead and toss your channel.
And then if you see the Black Superman one, see that's the Tenahisi Coates. The Black Superman one, it was when he was addressing how he was like trying to be careful with that shit, but he you say he already I've been trying to trying to cover it, man.
You covered everything, man. You even covered the fact because you brought up the Ed Brubaker thing months ago, where like how is he not getting paid? Tenahisi Coates finally spoke on it. Like him, hey, at least he's speaking on some, his fellow comic book writer. You got to give him some amount of credit for that because I don't
and the way he's talking, it sounds like they're friends.
They probably are.
Yeah, they probably are. So you'd be surprised, man. We sit there and we listen to these guys, and of course, he's woke as fucking. We're gonna have our opinions, but as much as he comes off sounding racist and being whatever the fuck he is,
he sounds like a jackass sometimes.
It's like it's like you I can believe that he still got white friends and and shit like that, and it's probably one of them right here. I'm just being honest. It'd be like that sometimes, man.
Yeah. And if you read that Polygon article, you see he grew up reading comics. Like, love him or hate him, he may have woke views, but he grew up reading comics. So he is a comic book fan. Doesn't mean he necessarily should have got the become the writer of the Black Panther and Captain America because he was writing for the Atlantic. But he
honestly, I think he should just stick to books, nothing comic book.
He probably should have. That's probably, and he's probably feeling the pressure. He's probably like, "Oh shit, now I gotta write Superman."
I mean, and, another thing too, you'd be surprised how these comic book companies extended the hand to him.
Yeah,
they heard that I grew up reading comic books, but he never had no intentions on writing a comic. Or if that's the case, he would have been pushing for it the way he pushed for all the other shit he was doing.
Yeah, absolutely right. He was trying to be.
And, so of course, he probably won a few awards and this and that shit, and then Marvel or DC finds out they catch somewhere in an interview or whatever that I loved reading Marvel comics. Well, shit, let's get him in here and see if he could write one of these motherfuckers.
Yep.
Extend him a deal, and here he comes, Tenahisi Coates, Captain America, Black Panther.
Yeah, and now Superman. All because of. He said he used to read and like I said, it's clear that he did, and you're right. He didn't want to go into comics. He was working for the Atlantic. He was writing essays. He's writing books. He was, doing all this other academic, intellectual stuff. And all of a sudden, now he's one of the most important comic book writers on the planet, despite not the best, but one of the most important because of the IPs he's touched and still has access to and will have access to going forward.
It's crazy, listening to that, doing that video, checking out the article. He was actually right about, the way that these artists, artists, writers, the creators, he was, even was touching on the point that even if he wasn't a person that actually created the character, you got writers that put so much into the lore that makes the character who they are. And whether it's adding certain characters, or creating, like, for instance, you got Batman. What you add on to Batman, you got Graham Nolan creating Bane. And that Bane was something that added on to the lore of Batman.
Absolutely,
the history. So you got art. You got people that are creating different things that add on to this one character. And nobody's getting credit for shit. Nobody's getting paid nothing, and it's fucked, man.
Absolutely.
So even if you're not the guy that created Batman, you added something to Batman's history, and that shit's being shown in shows and movies and everything else, and you ain't getting shit for it. Not even a thank you or a pat on the back.
Not only that, we just spoke of him. Paul Dini does not get paid for Harley Quinn, which is insane. Nope. How much money have they made off Harley Quinn? With cosplay and all the shit they sell with Harley Quinn.
This is why most creators got to go solo and not trust companies.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's like these companies that it's even like that with the music industry. These companies will sit there and they'll take your creativity and never use it. Or if they do use it, it's in ways that you didn't ask for it to be used. So basically, it's like, once you sign your name on the dotted line.
It reminds me of the old stories of rappers who used to be tricked by the production companies and had to drop out just to make their own money.
Yeah, I talked about informally on the podcast. DJ Quick, he burnt his little $200 publishing check he got from Death Row. It's like, and he was talking about all the different labels that fucked him out of money, all the different work that he's done, like additional production too. And the sounds he made, which I remember back in the day, because I was into music. He was known for making sounds for people.
Dude, I'm telling you, he actually musically, DJ Quick, he was good on his own.
He really was.
You know, he was good, like just as an artist. But the thing is, he also shined as a producer, and never even got the fucking credit he deserved. And people knew that he was fucking making these beats, man, and he was making this music for all kind of artists, man. For Pac, like you know, like I seen him. He produced a song off of All Eyes on Me.
Yeah. And he was talking about work he had did with 50 Cent that he didn't get credit for. Work he had did with a bunch of different artists that he didn't get credit for, didn't get money for. I think stuff he did with Timbaland, like some of his bigger known productions, he made some of the sounds and had part of it. And Timbaland had did something similar to Scott Storch, believe it or not, back in the day, because he had worked under a lot of these producers work under other producers and don't get the credit they work. So it's the way these companies operate. They milk the IP out of the creative. That's more and more reason why, in general, no matter whether we're talking about music, whether we're talking about movies, TV, and all other pop culture stuff we kind of focus on, the push has to be towards the independents. There's no way around it. As Keely Child says, Image Comics was Comicsgate before Comicsgate existed.
Right.
This is why Image and Comicsgate exist.
And you know, it's funny. What's up, Keely Child? You know, H-Town.
Keely Child.
Yeah, he's good dude, man. Keely Child. You know, one thing that, you know, and Keely Child was right. It's like all the people that had issues with how Marvel and DC were being ran, they broke away and they all went to Image, man. Yeah. And that's why Image just coming out the gate, dude, the firepower that they had to get that shit rolling was that's why Spawn and everything else just fucking.
I mean, Spawn, Invincible, Wildstorm, a lot of great things came from Image.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, they made it hard.
And they, like I said, they took, they went ahead and they.
And it's ironic too, if you think about it, because Disney was originally created by Walt Disney for the same exact reason, to give freedom to creators. Now look where it is.
Right.
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely, man. Once people get to that point, they just, I want to keep my spot. And unfortunately, a lot of what Walt wanted to do died with him. A couple of things in the chat. Sister Dildo bringing up some good points. De La Soul, one of many who got ripped off as well.
Pasta Noose and Plug 1 and Plug 2. Yeah. True Goy and Maceo. Yeah, man. Shit, De La Soul is dead. Yeah, they were fucking awesome as fuck, man. Dog. Yeah, man. Tribe Called Quest.
A lot of that whole era.
And it's like, I think Five died 10 years ago now?
Yeah, it's been a while since
it just seemed like it was not even that long ago.
Yesterday.
Man.
I remember because it was like, man, because they were kind of having like a little comeback thing where a lot of people
they were working on it, man, because him and Q-Tip was beefing out so much that towards the end they had made amends, was working towards showing people that Tribe Called Quest was back, and then boom.
Yeah, and Sister Dildo's right. Ghost producing has been around since the 80s. Yeah, apparently a lot of those Juice Crew stuff was Ghost produced. That Marley Marl was.
Marley Marl and the Juice Crew. Come on, man. MC Shan, Marley Marl, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Fuji Rap. Come on, man.
Somebody working under Marley Marl. Master Ace is actually
Scoop and Scrap Lover. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's up? Yeah, man. You talking to a hip hop head beyond belief, bro.
Yeah, we were talking about old school hip hop in one of the Tetris streams I was doing. Lack of testosterone in the comic books because they're getting soy tarts. We think Buffy was a great action TV series.
Oh yeah, comic books are getting super soy boy.
That means you don't have to do any better. As Joker says, you get what you effing deserve. Yeah,
is there a comic book where we don't have an issue where the male character just cries? I mean, look at the modern Adam Strange comic book. I mean, that's a huge. Just fucking kill me. I'm a shameful thing for all men. Every issue.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at guys like Ethan Van Sciver, your boy Zach. The comic books are selling out great. They're making a lot of money.
Actually, it's funny, man. When we found out that Mark Millar, was talking about that 95% of
the research.
So you had a video on that as well.
Yeah, man, dude.
I mean, was anyone surprised?
No, I've been saying it for a while.
Yeah, and
we all knew.
It's like the thing is, people are admitting what we already knew nowadays. Basically like with JJ and Star Wars, with Mark Millar and comic books. It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, we already knew it, but the thing is just to hear the prophet, like the ones that are in the trenches with this shit, to hear them admit it. And Mark Millar, he has nothing to do with what's woke and what's what. He's just a guy. His properties are hot right now. They're fucking doing shows and movies off.
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy is already out. I mean, he can just fuck it and go to his own life.
Exactly.
Real quick, I just want to say peace out to Justin Normie because he's leaving. Thank you, Justin Normie. Shout out to you.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah. All right, you guys can go back. I just want to say,
no,
you're right. Mark Millar is a guy who has a lot of hot properties, and it is interesting, like you said, to see. Oh, now you guys are saying something. I think the walls are closing there.
What it was is like, I did a video on that. What it was is he has someone that works for either Marvel or DC, and they come to find out that 95% of the people that actually buy comics are not on Twitter. So the thing is when you have DC, my whole thing was when you have DC and Marvel pandering to Twitter, and 95% of comic book audience is not on Twitter, then who is Disney and Marvel pandering to?
Exactly,
no one.
So they said that it was actually there's only 10% of the people that are that there's 10% of the people that are basically comic that are comic book audiences that are on Twitter. And the reason why and what it is only half of those accounts that are on Twitter that's supposed to be people that are that are part of the comic book audience, only half of those accounts are active.
Yeah.
So there's only 5%.
Here's the interesting thing. Of that 5%, I wonder how many don't even agree with the agenda, because technically my account will be considered in that 5%. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm semi-active. I post these streams and I don't agree with that stuff. Like,
then,
so
yep.
Yeah, but then if you have Marvel and DC just going off of the 5%, and they're agreeing with the side that we're not on.
Yeah.
It's even less than that at that point.
It is even less than that. So it's probably only
never pander because no one cares.
No one cares.
Or maybe the 5% is the 5% that we're not a part of.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
In any event, it's such a small sample size; it should not be used as the end all be all for how you market.
I mean, I really hope they learn from this, because there's rumors about. Remember, you ever seen the new impulse for the Flash show picture?
Yeah, I did.
There's rumors that dude is probably going to be Johnny Storm. I mean, he's already talking about thinking about doing it on his YouTube channel.
Why? Because they made Michael B. Jordan Johnny Storm, so they got to keep that going. Isn't that funny? Once they do it once, they keep doing it. The same with Jimmy Olsen. They did it once with Supergirl, and then they keep doing it. Like they try to rewrite history.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's ironic. You can make a character black if he was originally white, but you can't do the same thing backward. No, and I don't even give a shit if they turn the black character white. It's just, I mean, that would prove them right again, because then they are really doing it for diversity and equality. Because you can't do one thing without the other.
Yeah, we need my Irish Black Panther. And no, I am not a 5%er.
5%, the 5% Nation of Islam.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, actually, my brother is, man.
Okay.
Yeah, for real. He goes to the mosque. The 7 crescent and star, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a 5%er though. But that was
damn. Yeah, it was just crazy to hear somebody just mention that. Man, I would never think somebody would say that in the chat that I'm in. It's just because if you think about it, man, people don't talk about the 5% Nation the way they did back like the 80s and 90s. It's like nowadays, I mean, they're still there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
it's still.
I mean, as far as like, people rapping about it and speaking anything about it, yeah, man. You don't hear nothing about it, man.
They were talking about the mathematics stuff. I never really. I knew just the tangential stuff from that sort of stuff. But yeah, it is.
Like basically, like their Bible was considered like it's called the Book of Life, man. Yeah, my brother got his, man. So yeah, and the thing is he had to earn his pin, man. That's it's like in order for you to get into a status to be called one of the gods, it's like you have to pass a test, man, of you knowing the knowledge of what's in the book of life, and you have to know it forward and backwards, and if not, you won't ever get like Rakim and Nas.
Yeah,
they're both in Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. I do know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's there.
A lot of people in it, and I honestly,
KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane.
It was a huge part of hip hop.
Like Ice Cube and like MC Ren, become Muslim. Like for instance, you had like the Brand Nubians, Grand Poobah and Sadat X and
Lord Jamar. He's doing
Lord
stuff
Jamar,
now.
Of course,
He's
man.
doing a podcast now.
I know.
I mean, are there any?
I know we went from
Muslim rap
to hip hop, but shit.
There used to be a ton of them, like we mentioned. There were a lot of 5%ers.
Yeah, man. There was a bunch of them. You had if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think Buckshot Shorty and them, man, the original Gun Clappers, Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson,
yeah. I think they might have. I could be wrong, but I think they could have been. And you had like dudes like Lakim Shabazz.
You know what? Now that I think about it,
teachers, PRT. Yeah, I mean,
I know why that is,
them, man.
And it's obvious why you don't see them anymore.
I mean, that
community,
dude. And actually, you had like the X Clan, bro.
X Clan. I remember the X Clan.
Oh, dude, Van.
I remember the X Clan. Van Glorious, yeah.
Dog, and it's like when you say Vigilante Williamson, that's who you remind me of. Like, if you think about it, man, when you hit
kind
that
of similar,
Vigilante, like Van Glorious, like that
Glorious.
From the red, the black, and the green, with a key, used to see. That was Professor X, man. That was his name. That was his rap name, Professor X, man.
I remember that, and Essential Ditto's right. Even Everlast did lose the mouth. Even Everlast converted to Islam. And I mean, I'm a guy who believes, I would like to consider myself a Christian.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, there's a reason they push a lot of those Islamic brothers out of hip hop. And when you look at the community now and look at the culture now, it's a lot of, and this is not being disparaging towards that group. It's just the reality. It's a lot more push with LGBTQ, a lot more of that getting pushed in hip hop, and that's not congruent with what those brothers are talking about.
Right.
And that's. I think now that we're just having this discussion, I'm like, it used to be a huge part of hip hop, and it's just
of course,
dude.
Especially
I guess
the cats in New York, the East Coast cats, man, that was a huge part of the culture.
It was a huge part of the culture, yeah. And I can't help but to wonder if that part of the agenda has pushed any really strong religious group, because there were still Christian rappers who talk about Christianity. I think DMX would talk about, but like that whole having a religious slant to your hip hop is totally gone from mainstream, and I think that's
a period piece in hip hop, man.
It is a period piece.
Especially when it came to the are we talking? This had to be 95, 96, going into the mid 90s when you talking about your Muslim and your 5%, rappers that represent the 5% nation, man, of Islam. Yeah, it's like man, that's.
Yeah, essentially, you toss us out on the tangent because we could go all day with it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of great artists, man. A lot of great artists. I think, man, if there's one kind of wrap it up on the boat, because I do want to kind of get out here. It's getting close to the time I got to get out. And I want to, I always like to cover a positive story before I leave, so I'm gonna do that for sure. But there has to be something about when you talk about creativity, you need to allow creatives to be the ones pushing it. You need to allow people to be able to do themselves, to be able to express themselves, express their beliefs, express whatever it is, and be able to be compensated for it. And these companies, they're all conglomerating together, they're taking all these IPs, and it's like they're squashing the creatives. If there's a central thought to all of this, because we're talking about Ed Brubaker not getting paid, we're talking about all these artists that basically are not allowed in the music industry anymore. It's all about this squashing of IP and this corporatizing of creativity, and it's not working. And even though it's going to be hairy for a minute when all these companies get bought up, I think long term is going to be good because it's going to be more independent creators. It's going to, because you have to be. If you have a dream of being creative, you cannot be looking to depend on a corporation. Because if you are unlucky enough to get a job with a corporation, all they're going to do is take all your money and destroy all your creativity.
Right.
And that's what's happened.
And at the same time, they end up destroying the art form, in the process, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, the one thing that become the most unfortunate thing is when someone gets creatively robbed to the point when they're not acknowledged or compensated for their contributions. Dude, that shit can kill an artist's spirits.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about, man. And to be real with you, as many people as got fucked over, a lot of these creators, they're still alive and they're not doing shit, bro.
You're right.
True. I mean, look at Keely Chu. He's right.
They're older now. They're like in their 60s, 70s, bro. But the thing is, they would love to work, and they would love to come back to work for Marvel. They would love to come back to work for DC. But the thing is, they've been fucked for so long. Not
only that, they don't have the right belief system. They do not follow their way. They actually want to say stories. They don't want to stop preaching about.
That's the thing. Why would they come back, man? They want to work. No, a lot of them are sick, man. A lot of them got, they would love to, to earn their keep, man. And so the thing is,
and they will be better than what we got.
The people that told good stories 20 and 30 years ago, they're still alive and can still put them out, man.
I'm actually shocked a few of them haven't gone solo and done their own stories. I mean, Alex Ross is still around. His art's still good as ever. I mean, go see him on Twitter. He could probably done something on his own.
A lot of people, somebody like that, a lot of them have a corporate worship mentality where they could never foresee themselves being on their own. I think this is kind of a tangent before. I talked a lot about Stephen A. Smith in the past few weeks off and on just because of the Kwame Brown thing. I think it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mess. But Stephen A. Smith is a guy who could have left ESPN like a half a decade ago and been solo and did what Outkick did if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He doesn't have the balls to. He wants to be a part of the machine. That's how a lot of people's mentality is. So the creators like that, like Alex Ross, who could do something, he'd rather be a part of the machine. But it would be nice for a lot of those creators to maybe they need to get in the comics game. Maybe some of them need to contact AVS and say, you know what, man, I'm never going to get another job with Marvel. They want to keep hiring these CalArts kids. How do I do what you did? I would be, maybe that's the path for a lot of these creators.
And I've heard some of them have reached out and they're just afraid of being, I don't know, man. It's like people worried about being ousted from a company that don't even fuck with them to begin with. They're worried about being ousted by,
they don't care about it.
I'm just saying by other people. That's fucked up, man. So some people are worried about how they're gonna look to their fellow, creators and writers and shit like that work for companies that won't even hire some of these motherfuckers back, man. Like they need to stop worrying about this shit and just step out, man. And just, dude, you know what happened when Jack Kirby got fed up with fucking DC and Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
He went to Pacific Comics and started putting out Captain Victory, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. I have a few of those comics around.
Just come on, man. It's like, dog, even Jack Kirby had to fucking leave. And he helped build both companies up.
Yeah, he.
Gave the mainstream world. He created pretty much 50% of Marvel.
He created 50% of Marvel, and the best, one of the biggest and most impactful things about DC and the new guys. So yeah, it's a complete mess. I want to get to a few things in the chat.
Yeah.
Chili Child says, my problem with hip hop now is there are not many rappers who are keeping it real, and to kind of counter that, Since Your Dildo says, how would I afford $1,000 sneakers and Gucci tracksuits if I don't sign a big deal? These are two related chats. Much materialism has always been a part of hip hop.
Yeah.
That there's so many, like I said, that dependent mindset. And by the way, if you sign a deal, you still can't afford those tracksuits because you got to pay that money back to the label.
That's right.
There's no, I can't conceive of a record deal in this.
The thing is, when people think they're getting a signing bonus, that's just a fucking down payment on the whole fucking agreement, and you better hope your fucking album sells units, because if not, you got to find some way to pay that money back to the fucking record company, man. So it's like a loan.
They're doing 360 deals because they don't sell units anymore.
Man.
I don't even get it. I don't get it. It's a slave deal. I just don't do it. Just especially with independent. I mean, just you can say, and I'm going to be trying to do my little hand at the independent stuff. But let's see. New Bomb Turk does have a bit of a counterpoint. He says EVS had a huge advantage though. He still gets paid for DC for his Lantern stuff. Word is he got a 6-figure check for the Justice League. Wow. Well, shout out to him for being able to pull that off.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of Toonami, and
power to him.
He never interviewed Stanley. Yeah, I do hear that DC's a little bit better than Marvel as far as paying their creators. But like I said, Paul Dini, they're good at paying people for comics. Paul Dini, they said there was a loophole because of it was initially an animated character, so they didn't pay him. So I don't know.
And Chuck Dixon was saying that. He got fucked over because the thing is, Chuck Dixon created the concept for Birds of Prey, and the thing is, they didn't want to give him the credit because when he created the concept of Birds of Prey, he was an editor, and there's a rule at DC that says that if you're an editor at DC and you create something for DC, you don't get the credit. The person that writes
bullshit.
Wow.
Dude, the person that writes the comic books that's putting out this creation that you created, like whoever's the first person gets the credit for it. So whoever the writer and the artist is that puts it out gets the credit for it. But since Chuck Dixon was the editor at the time, him and his boy that created the Birds of Prey, and the whole argument that DC had was, hey, you weren't the ones that you didn't create Huntress, you didn't create Black Canary, you didn't create whoever the fuck else is on the team. So since you didn't create them, you can't get the credit for it. But I get the credit of putting these motherfuckers together as a team. And adding the whole dynamics to it. But see, that's the thing. DC wants to use it, but they don't want to give the proper credit of putting the three together and coming out with a new creation. Like, who the fuck really gave a shit about Huntress? And I mean, yeah, people like Black Canary because she's with, Oliver Queen, Green Arrow. But by herself, what?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, since you did all this is the nail on the head, and this is we're gonna actually close out on this and then get to the positive story. Only way to do big deals right is to build your name and big platform independently. So you hold all the chips when the big companies start bidding. Some artists made it that way. I think the only thing I would change is I don't think you deal with the big companies anymore. I know that was specific to music, but I think it applies to comics. It applies to everything we talk about. At some point, if all of these companies are going to band together and still not know what the fuck they're doing, and they need the creatives to create stuff, and they're going to keep ripping them off, we have to stop giving them our IP. We have to start being our own bosses, and yes, not everyone's going to have the advantage of EVS, but we gotta create our own stuff. Go ahead, 24/7. Like you want to say?
I was while you were talking, I was like, I agree. Like I was just agreeing with you. I was
okay.
Like,
yeah, man.
But you're right about that, man.
All right, man. So real quick, we talked about a lot of kind of swirl things. I think somebody else covered this too. It's just a really cool story. I like always ending on some positive note.
Sure. What is this?
So a boy received a surprise from his Pokemon after selling his collection to save his puppy. Basically, it's the story. You guys heard about this?
Nah.
Okay. So an 8-year-old boy
Clownfish talked about it.
Yeah, Clownfish. I knew somebody talked about it. Clownfish, I think, talked about it. Yeah. So an 8-year-old in Virginia received a surprise package from Pokemon after a photo of him selling his cherished card collection to help save his dog surfaced on social media. There's a sign. Bryson Kleinman is a diehard Pokemon fanatic, and when his siblings won't play with them, his dog Bruce is always up for a game. Usually my brother and sister play together. I don't have anyone to play with, so I play with Bruce. When he learned his puppy had fallen ill and needed treatment that his family couldn't afford, he took matters into his own hands. While I'm in school, I get a text message with a picture of him with a sign on the side of the road selling Pokemon cards. His mother said, wow. Kimberly, his mom, posted the picture to help get the word out, and she made a GoFundMe with a goal of 800, but it got 5,000 after a week of treatment for the canine parvovirus. Bryson reunited with Bruce. He has more vaccine appointments. Let's talk about the parvovirus, not any other vaccines. YouTube. He's doing great and like amazing. Kimberly said, but Bryson didn't just get the attention from people around the world. It also caught attention from Pokemon employees based in Bellevue, Washington. They sent the diehard Pokemon fanatic a package of rare Pokemon cards that are hard to find in stores. They even sent a letter of appreciation that read, "Hey Bryson, we were so inspired by your story. Selling your cards for your dog's recovery. These are some cards to help you replace the ones you had to sell." Additional money was raised for the fundraiser will go towards the medical expenses for other sick animals in Southwest Virginia. So it's a real positive story. Some feel warm and fuzzy about the IP. You know, as crazy as everything is, there are still good people. So you know, this kid had to sell Pokemon cards just to help pay for his dog medical expenses. We're able to do that, and the people at Pokemon did the right thing. This is customer service.
Yeah, that's some good shit, man.
Yeah, it's remember, it's Pokemon. It's Japanese, not American.
That's very true. That's very true. So I'm going to see what the chat has to say and then get you guys' final thoughts and then go ahead and wrap it up because we're going almost 2.5 hours. So, and we did a couple streams yesterday. And I may stream Tetris later. I'm not sure. I read this. That's the video I'm talking about the Toonami interview. Give credit where it's due. I agree, Killy Child. Jens Peter says the MCU and all of the soy crap is going ahead because they don't see any testosterone, just soy nerd bitches. Don't have the balls to watch masculine action films.
Guess what, man?
What?
So true.
I was gonna do a video. You wouldn't even believe who's making a movie together. 2 people.
Who?
Brie Larson and Amber Heard.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. What is it going to be about? A space super god who goes around and takes dumps on her boyfriend's bed?
This makes you think they're doing that on purpose.
If I'm not mistaken, it might be Netflix. Or if I'm not, but these 2 are doing a movie together. And
I mean, there's going to be so much backlash from that.
They're doing that on purpose. That's a rage bait.
Man.
If it happens.
Yeah, it's real shit, man. This thing is they both got signed.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that woman keep getting work? No one likes her.
Man, I have a theory on why both are getting work, man. Isn't her going to prison? Who? Amber Heard?
Yeah, it is Netflix. Netflix reportedly developing new movie with Brie Larson and Amber Heard. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
It's going down.
Oh no, I'm about to actually look it up and try to bring it up. I see. Let me actually, in the meantime, toss up 24/7 Fusion Media while I actually can. No, I don't want to do that. Amber Heard, Brie Larson, and I'm trying to look it up so I can have it.
Yeah, it's Netflix. So, yeah, this is video time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get that video out.
And the thing is, yeah, people don't even know, man. And I've been holding on to that one for like 2 days. I was like, yo, it's going down, man. It's a bunch of other shit popping off. So yeah, man, it's your boy.
Yeah, you got to get that video out. But I mean, to be fair, it's we thought this covered. No, it seems like other people have it too. It's not just them.
No, yeah, it's quite out there. It's out there, man. And the thing is, you know, and we come to find out that you can't really, even though they're trash.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't always just discount because even these trash sites have. And it's actually real shit. I mean, just because you know they like you say, even with Tenahisi Coates, man, Clark is right. You know, at least twice a day.
Absolutely.
So you know, even though you got to look at where it's coming from. You can't always say that they're always wrong, bro. Even though they're not the best source to get your information wrong. You know, to get your information from. They're not always going to be wrong. As you know. You. And I'm very careful. If you look at my videos, I don't ever do we got this covered. I don't fuck around.
Yeah,
you know,
I understand that.
But even then, you know, when you start seeing the rest of them pop up, you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And, sometimes you'll see we got this covered and like 2 or 3 other sites cover something and you be like, oh, it's bullshit. But then when you got like 10, 15, you're like, wait a minute. And you got to, sometimes you have to look, man, to see what's really happening when there's enough people talking about some shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't ignore it when you got, your first 2 or 3 are we got this covered and the Mary Sue and whatever. You're like, oh, these are all bullshit. But then when you got 15 more behind them, you're like, wait a minute.
There's something to it.
Yeah, it might be something to it, man. You got to, you got to, sift through the shit to, to find the gold nugget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a gold nugget with them.
No, not with them. But it's just, just to find information sometimes, man.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man. Real quick on the last story, we talked about Parvo's Brutal for Dogs is really common in AZ, and that kid is indeed a G. And then unfortunately, we talked about the cheese turds or turd fromage. We're coming up with nicknames for Brie and Amber Heard or Amber Turd. I used to like cheese. System of the Poopus is ruined now. Sorry, man. Ron Martin has a theory of what the movie is. A new Netflix movie with Brie Larson as LGBTQ. Oof. I don't want to say that word because I don't want that smoke. Promoting Islamic diversity and inclusion. Amber is Jesus as a girlfriend. Do not give them any ideas. We got this news as a fake. We got this cover is fake entertainment and news at times. Yeah, but again, blind squirrel can find a nut and Islamic leftism. Yeah, even a blind squirrel can find a nut sometimes.
Oh shit! Yeah, man.
I think there's something to it. Looks like the dogs are coming after me. Fimber, any last words before we go? You know what, real quick. Yeah, they're coming at
I got nothing to say.
Oh,
I'm speechless. I'm speechless of how this world's going.
Yeah, hell in the handbasket, man. Hell in the damn handbasket.
Shit.
Grab both of you guys' links to promote you on.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Real quick, Fenrir, go ahead and promote your channel while I look for your link.
Okay, I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf. Y'all know me. I got my material out finally after doing it to the hundreds, as I promised. And I hope to continue doing new stuff, and I hope you continue to support me. Please go to my channel, leave a sub, subscribe, and please hit the bell too, so you can be notified when I'm making new stuff. Because YouTube's being a bitch and taking my subs away, and not notifying people when I make new things.
Make sure you're still subbed if you already have subbed. And again, he's making a lot of content. So yeah, and another thing, if you do sub, apparently you have to watch at least one video or something like that just to make sure your sub sticks, because YouTube hates us and is trying to get rid of I think they're trying to just suppress growth in general. They do not want channels to keep replacing the mainstream, and that's what we've been doing. And speaking of mainstream, I think your new, we talked about we got this cover. I don't know about trusting them, but if there's somebody, and as far as news, entertainment news, I trust 24/7 Fusion Media is the guy. So please promote your channel, man.
Thank you. It's your boy 24/7 with 24/7 Fusion Media. I cover pop culture. I cover everything from comic books to movies, cartoons, video games. Just, I try to be, dibble and dabble in a little bit of everything. And, if you ever want to check out somebody that's going to give it to you straight and not bullshit with anything, you're more than welcome, over there, where I'm at. We basically have, the same subscriber base as Vigilante and gotcha. See?
What?
The joke's on you. Nah, everybody thought I froze. See?
Yeah, I thought you froze. Like, shit.
That's why I'm like, gotcha.
You did get, because you freeze up sometimes. I'm like, oh man, I got him again.
Nah, I just fucking with y'all. Nah, but like I say, y'all come subscribe, and you guys are always welcome there, and love to have you. And I drop videos every day, and if there's anything that you guys would like me to cover, just drop me a message in the comment section, or just if you catch me on Twitter, you can drop me a message there, and I would love to check out whatever you guys have to offer. So. I'm open, and information is something that I would never downplay or look over. I wouldn't look past. So, but thank you for having me, and I love being here and talking to everybody. So,
thank you for being here. Thank you for being
exactly
here. Being here. Thank you in the chat also for being here. You guys have been great. It's time to hit the ending music and do the outro. Yeah, you got us with the freeze. You definitely got us with the freeze.
Hey, could you
yeah?
Could you put my Twitter link out there? Because I kind of need new people on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, even though I am not the fan of the Twitter, let me oof. If you
I'm not a fan either, but I need to get my channel out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still useful. It's still very useful. And honestly, with the way fucking notifications go, it's valuable just to get notifications off of stuff. That's why I still send our little Twitter links out with when I do a stream, because it's like I don't know that you'll ever get a notification.
Oh,
and I so yeah.
No, I'm sorry. The Wake Down just showed up. What's up, man?
Hell, Wake Down. Also another great channel. I'm copying and pasting. Fenrir, you probably could have beat me to getting your link out there, but I got it now.
I gave it on the private chat.
You just did it. Okay.
Private chat.
Well, it's there's almost did that in the private chat. This is just a Twitter handle, and I'll just use the link from the private chat.
Hey, thanks, Newbomb Turk.
Oh, Newbomb Turk got it. Yes, the Modulantes or the Mod Squad. We still haven't decided which. And there you go again. So please,
the Modulantes. I like that. That shit sounds fucking. That shit. The Modulantes.
Yes, I appreciate the mods. I appreciate everybody in the chat. It's not gonna let me post to Twitch. Name. Looks like I forgot who came up with it. Somebody did. May have been Newbomb Turk.
That's some cool shit. The Modulantes.
Because we were talking about how they got the mod robotics. Like, we need a name, and then everybody in the chat, somebody said the Mod Squad. I'm like, even though it's taken, it's still cool. And somebody said it may have been Newbomb Turk. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody said Modulantes. I'm starting to like that.
Man, that's a cool fucking name, man. If I was you, and it's original, man. So yeah, I like that. That's some good shit.
No, so Newbomb said Mod Squad. Okay. But I thought that was cool. So thank you for a great show. Thank you for being a great chat.
Yeah, for real, man. You guys are awesome.
You guys are really awesome. So hit the music. All right. Is the music playing?
You guys are amazing. Just proves we're way better than mainstream.
Absolutely. So shout out to Fenrir, the Ice Wolf, 24/7 Fusion Media, Stream Elements who showed up, Newbomb Turk, Keely Chow, Darius Moonchausen who showed up a couple times. The Wait Down, shout out to the Wait Down. He does a lot of good content. We're gonna be working on music videos in the future. Sentient Dildo, always great. Martin, go ahead.
Do not answer to anything Dildo says. That guy's too crazy.
He has some good points though, when he's not being funny, and he's awesome. Ron Martin was here as well. Snorted Poop was Q Burr. Hello and goodbye. Who else? There was a lot of other people here. Islington Girl was here. I know. I'm not sure if I'll get up to her. Jens Peter was here. Shout out to Jens, manly man Jens Peter. Robert, of course, he's always here. It's always good to see my man Robert. Islington Girl was here. Gomer Kyle obviously is here. He gave the biggest, and I think it may be the only super chat today, but still it was $25. Nick White? No, that's an old one. I'm sorry. But yeah, Gomer Kyle with $25. Shout out to anybody else who was lurking, because I know a lot of people lurk. So if you like the video, please like the video. Robert asks, is you going to stream after this? Hopefully we will get 24/7 music streaming a little more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I'm not sure about today, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be streaming on my channel. So y'all get ready for that. I got some shit that I'm beginning with Vigilante with, and definitely. Yeah, it's man, I'm excited, man. Vigilante's awesome. Look, anybody here that hasn't subscribed, please do, to Fenrir, the Ice Wolf, and
absolutely
stuff to Vigilante Williamson. I mean, these guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and you'll definitely get your 110% out of these guys. So
thank you, man.
Man.
And we did get a new sub, Rezacal. I'm glad you kind of mentioned that. Rezacal showed up, and a couple of late bloomers. Cam, please watch the replay if you haven't been lurking. And Mike Beats Dicks. I always appreciate you guys being here. So for Fenrir and 24/7 Fusion, I am Vigilante Williamson. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged, then share and subscribe on the replay, because a lot of people watch the replay. Please do. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. I appreciate all you. Or good evening and God bless.